delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security expects to have face, fingerprint, and iris scans of at least 250 million people in its biometrics database by 2022. According to a recent presentation from the Office of Procurement Operations of the DHS, which was reviewed by courts, the 259 million in the data. DHS did not immediately comment on its plans for the database. Police in New York City have gone to great lengths to prevent people from hopping turnstiles to avoid paying subway fares. But they have likely spent much more on the increased enforcement as they would gain by collecting all of the fees. According to the Mind Unleashed, the MTA has deployed 500 new subway cops to prevent people from skipping fares on the subway, which has led to numerous confrontations. In one case last week, footage taken at the scene showed police pointing their guns at a crowded train car before tackling a 19-year-old fare skipper, who they claimed had a weapon, but officers found nothing on him after a thorough search. The next day, there was another altercation in which an NYPD officer was seen on video punching two teenagers in the face. Residents of New York gathered in downtown Brooklyn last week to protest against police brutality and the increased police presence on the subway. Protesters gathered in the streets near the Barclays Center late in the afternoon on Friday before making their way into the subways. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
And in a surprise announcement this morning, U.S. Deputy Surgeon General Greg Paulson stated that, quote, "It's fine to smoke cigarettes if you only smoke while drinking." The Deputy Surgeon General has called a press conference to discuss the shocking findings, which began just moments ago. Let's go live to that now.
Was there a particular study this report was based on?
Look, that determination was made after considering that someone who only smokes when at bars or parties ends up smoking maybe 15 cigarettes a month, while regular smokers are smoking 150 to 200 cigarettes each week. So we feel that it's just obvious that as long as you don't actually buy the cigarettes and you only smoke them while consuming the alcohol, then the risks of getting lung cancer are basically mostly negligible. Just common sense.
This announcement comes on the heels of the Surgeon General's last announcement that drinking and driving is fine if you ate a lot that day or if it's a route you take all the time sober. Moving on, the Japanese Space Agency has announced plans to put a schoolgirl on the moon by 2015.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You are welcome to join us here on the radio. You can dial in toll-free, take control of the airwaves at 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. You may join those over at discord.lrn.fm. Here in the studio tonight, I'm Ian.
And I'm Johnson.
And I'm Vincent.
So lots of stuff in the news to talk about. Coming up, Johnson, you're going to be telling us about, and this is a completely new concept to me, transabled people.
Yeah. Yep. That's a new one on me, too.
Wow. I don't even know what to think about this yet. I just found out about it like a minute ago. So we'll get into that coming up here, and we'll tell you what transabled ostensibly means. But first, how about some good news? I know you had this one. Michael Hampton sent it into our show prep group, and it's definitely a case that rings close to me. The EFF, Electronic Frontier Foundation, with a major press release about a major victory for privacy rights at the border. Federal court in Boston ruled today that suspicionless searches of travelers' electronic devices by federal agents at airports and other U.S. ports of entry are unconstitutional. So that's good news. Congratulations. Although, of course, it's not the Supreme Court yet.
Right.
But, the ruling came in a lawsuit, Al-Assad versus Michalinen, filed by the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, EFF.
What does this mean for like domestic searches, though? That's what I want to know.
Let's go on. I'm not sure. It was also filed by the ACLU of Massachusetts on behalf of 11 travelers whose smartphones and laptops were searched without individualized suspicion at U.S. ports of entry. Quote, this ruling significantly advances Fourth Amendment protections for millions of international travelers who enter the United States every year. And this is a case that we've talked about previously. I knew this was in play. I'd actually contacted the EFF about the case to ask them if they needed any other plaintiffs after I was stopped for over 3 hours at the border coming back into the United States. They do it when you come back in, basically. And I was at JFK Airport. They held me and made me miss my flight, and it was quite inconvenient. They searched my devices not once, but twice with 2 different sets, one bureaucrat first and then a set of detectives who then took my devices out of sight, so I could not watch them conduct the second search. And we can get into, things to do. And it does, Johnson, you're right, have to do with international travel. As I understand it, the TSA isn't able to do these sorts of searches. I've never heard of that happening at a TSA internal domestic kind of checkpoint. That's not to say that...
Well, police is what I was thinking of more in general. I mean, I know the law still stands that they can force you to press your finger to a fingerprint ID sensor, so...
Can they? I know I've heard that that's the case, and I feel like there might have been another court case in regards to that, but I don't know.
I don't believe it's been reversed. No.
Okay. So let's go on. By putting an end to the government's ability to conduct suspicionless fishing expeditions, the court reaffirms that the border is not a lawless place and that we don't lose our privacy rights when we travel. It's according to Esha Bandhari, staff attorney with the ACLU's Speech, Privacy, and Technology Project. Sophia Cope from the EFF, their senior staff attorney, says, quote, this is a great day for travelers who can now cross the international border without fear that the government will, in the absence of any suspicion, ransack the extraordinarily sensitive information that we all carry in our electronic devices. Now, I wonder, they're saying here suspicionless, so if they know who you are and they target you specifically, like they know Vincent's coming through the border, we want to find out what's on his devices, can they then just search your phone because they know who you are? Or do they have to have a warrant in order to do that at this point with this court ruling? The district court order puts an end to Customs and Border Control, CBP, and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, asserted authority to search and seize travelers' devices for purposes far afield from the enforcement of immigration and customs laws. Border officials must now demonstrate individualized suspicion of illegal contraband before they can search a traveler's device. So what would be illegal contraband
on a phone
that is digital?
You have drugs on your phone.
Child pornography. Okay. What else could it be?
Oh gosh, like sensitive secrets, like weapon.
You have Hillary's email server on your phone.
Was recipes how to make mustard gas. That's the only other thing I could think of.
Would that be illegal to have in the United States? I mean, that's freedom of speech right there. There are books like that. You can buy books about how to make bombs and mustard gas. And
you have a copy of Catcher in the Rye on your phone.
I don't know if that's federally prohibited.
There are banned books. I mean,
that would be the suspicion. That goes into the suspicion.
Right.
The number of electronic
22
devices at searches at U.S. ports of entry has increased significantly. Last year, CBP conducted more than 33,000 searches, almost 4 times the number from just 3 years prior. And just to be clear, this has been going on for more than a decade. It just got publicity within the last several years as it became more of a common problem. So the government got away with this for an entire decade now until finally, the EFF filed a suit a few years ago, and finally it's made it through to the initial decision here. International travelers returning to the United States have reported numerous cases of abusive searches in recent months. While searching through the phone of Zaneb Merchant, a plaintiff in the Al-Assad case, a border agent knowingly rifled through privileged attorney-client communications.
Wow.
An immigration officer at Boston Logan Airport reportedly searched an incoming Harvard freshman's cell phone and laptop, reprimanding the student for friends' social media posts expressing views critical of the U.S. government, and denied the student entry into the country following the search. So I am going to pull up the order and see if there's anything more that we can glean from this. It doesn't say here, obviously this is just the EFF's press release. We don't know if ICE CPB is going to appeal this case. Presumably they will. But it does sound like the initial decision puts a stay on, the continuing execution of these searches. Mm-hmm. So hopefully if they appeal this case, again, the searches will still be prohibited considering this initial court ruling, and then hopefully appeals courts won't overturn it. So, this is good news because it's always a big pain in the butt to prepare for international travel. It's like, I love going to Anarchapulco, but I hate coming back home.
Right.
And it really is frustrating to, because...
Do they not take care, scan that stuff on the way out?
No.
Then why don't you just go and then mail it to yourself?
Well, that's an option. That's something that you can do. First, what I would do would be to copy the hard drive before leaving.
Right.
To make sure that I have a copy of all the data here. And it's not that there's anything contraband on there. It's just I don't want them going through stuff like, I don't know, my Bitcoin wallet.
Right.
Or whatever else is on my laptop, business documents. And it's just none of their business. And you know that what they do when they take your devices into the back room is they hook it up to one of those machines where they can just plug it in the USB port and then hit a button and then just suck down all the data from your entire hard drive. Just image the entire thing, or your phone. Just image the entire phone to their device. Yeah. That's what they do. That way they can go through it later, because they only had my devices for half hour.
With my device, they're hoping that it's going to be a 4-digit numeric passcode, and I go, I've got a password. It's going to take you 1,000 years to crack.
Sure. But
then, good luck.
Okay, well, that's the thing. And we haven't explained how this has worked up until this point.
Right.
They will then say to you, well, Johnson, you can either give us the phone or you can give us the password. Your choice. Okay. If you give them the phone, they keep it. So there goes your $3,000 or $1,000 or however much money. You get an iPhone, so I'm sure that's not a cheap phone, right? $800 at the low end. So there goes your $800 phone, because good luck getting it back.
Right.
They're going to keep the phone as long as they need to continue the investigation, to conduct the investigation. And if they can't get into the phone, then the investigation will never be completed.
Well, luckily, AppleCare now supports theft.
Not by government agents.
It's theft. I would report it to the police, file a police report that it's been stolen. I would describe the appearance of the people that stole my phone, neglecting to include anything about that. I'd say, I believe that one of their names was this and this or something, maybe. And then I'd file a police report, and I'd report my phone stolen, and then I'd get a new phone.
It'd be interesting to see how that panned out, because a lot of times insurance, for instance, or like AAA, doesn't cover when you get a tow by the government.
Right.
There's more coming up here in moments. 855, 450, free, like freedom, Free Talk Live.
Are you sick of hearing the same crap on libertarian podcasts? Inside jokes, interviews of the same person you've heard 50 times? Then you need to listen to the Lava Flow podcast. No nonsense and to the point. Get the information you need and get out. You won't hear the latest libertarian circle jerk news here, but instead hard-hitting anti-statist news with me, Roger Paxton, shooting from the lip. LAVA stands for Libertarian, Anarcho-Capitalist, Voluntarist, and Agrist. And if you think you fit any of these categories, then this is the podcast for you. Listen now at thelavaflow.com to find out what's rustling my jimmies, what's in the news, the latest bad cop, stupid stuff statists are saying, and so much more. You can find out more and subscribe on any podcatcher at thelavaflow.com. That's thelavaflow.com, part of the Pax Libertas Productions podcast network.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to SaveItPurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You jump into one of those rooms, you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. And with you in the studio, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Vincent.
Free Talk Live is brought to you by local.bitcoin.com, a place where you can go globally to buy and sell Bitcoin Cash with dozens of payment methods. Now, do keep in mind, if you're planning on selling on the site, you are taking on a little bit of a higher risk, especially with certain payment methods. So make sure you research the intended payment method that you want to use, because some of them are, as they would say in the business, reversible, which can be a problem when selling cryptocurrencies. So make sure you use, the safer methods. Make sure you're dealing with people, and if you need to, you can put in know your customer requirements and ID your customers and that sort of thing. But the thing that makes this site different from other sites like it is the website itself doesn't require ID to sign up. You can get started and you can trade without showing ID to the website over at local.bitcoin.com, and that makes them a very different site. And the reason why they don't do that is because they don't actually hold your funds. Your funds are held in your Bitcoin Cash wallet, which you have the keys for and you have control over. It's really an amazing site. They've done a great job with it. I've been on there for basically since they launched this summer. You can go to local.bitcoin.com and get started trading Bitcoin Cash. That's local.bitcoin.com. We have the news here from the Electronic Frontier Foundation about a initial court victory. Thank goodness. They finally, the court initially has ruled, lower court, federal court in Boston, I guess, has ruled in favor of the plaintiffs in this case, the ACLU and the EFF, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, essentially ruling that if you have a smartphone or a laptop, some sort of an electronic device, and you're coming back into the United States, that without an individualized suspicion against you specifically, they cannot search your devices. Now it's again not clear if this applies to everyone coming into the United States or just U.S. citizens. So I would say to anyone who is not a U.S. citizen, and again, I don't believe in the idea of citizenship. I think the whole thing's a scam because, well, in order to be a citizen, you have to owe a duty of allegiance in return for an obligation of protection. And we know that the federal government doesn't have an obligation to protect you. So the whole idea there's even a citizen is nonsense, but they believe there are citizens. And so if they don't think you're a citizen, I would say there is still a chance that they could target you for one of these searches because they generally don't treat people who are citizens the same way as they treat people who are non-citizens at the border. So just beware of that. I would say still tread with caution when crossing the border. Try to avoid, carrying anything that you don't want the federal agents to see on your laptop or cell phone as you cross the border. Johnson, I think it was your idea to just ship the whatever hard drive to the place where you're going, and that's a pretty safe thing to do. I would just say, even because UPS and DHL and FedEx aren't perfect shippers, there's still a chance they could lose the thing or break the thing that you're shipping. Just to be super safe, I would image the hard drive prior to, or the phone, whatever, back up your most important files, leave a copy of it where you come from, and then if you're going to ship it or try to cross the border, then
okay,
at
I'm
least
gonna
you're safe.
I'm gonna do a bit here real quick. This solution brought to you by Think Penguin.
ThinkPenguin.com.
Only because it's a Linux solution. So I have in my hand here, this is KDE Neon. It is a flash drive that is a thumbstick that any computer that I put this in, for the most part, if it's running an Intel processor,
no AMD.
It might work on an AMD. It depends. It depends. There's probably if it runs Linux, right? Yeah. Which is most systems. Basically, if you have a computer, right, and especially if you have a computer that doesn't have a hard drive in it or it hasn't been installed yet, one thing that you can do, and this is possible to do on another computer, but it can be dangerous, so I don't want to just recommend anybody do this because you could end up wiping your hard drive. But the idea is you install Linux to a flash drive using encrypted logical volume management, right? Okay. So you install this as though it's a regular hard drive. It's a USB 3.0 flash drive, or even better if you have a USB-C one, or even better if you have one that's like one of the more modern hard drives where it's like a stick that has an M2 SSD flash drive or like flash memory in it, because that's super fast, and it's also going to be large, but it's also going to be expensive. But with this like little $10 USB 3 flash drive, I can put this in essentially any computer, and when that computer boots up, hit the boot menu, boot to this flash drive. All the hardware on that computer is mine. That computer boots as though it's my computer. I have persistent stuff in this that's completely encrypted. I can put in, I can have my password manager on here. I can have my browser sessions on here, logged in. Everything is fine because this is only going to work if it's booted onto a computer and if I enter
the password,
my password in it. And if they take it from me, it's $10.
Right.
Shove it up your,
Well, they'd take the whole device, likely, even though
if it
the
was,
data's on
if
there.
I had a computer with me, but if this is in my pocket, chances are they're not checking all your thumb drives, right? Maybe they are.
Yeah, I think they would.
Sure, but then when they look at this,
more suspicious.
When they plug this into another computer, when the computer's up and running,
can't see
what are they
anything.
going to see? They're not going to see anything.
It's encrypted data.
Yeah. And I'm going to be like, all right, well, pound sand. Do you have a warrant?
Well, but wouldn't that make them even more suspicious?
Let them be.
Well,
There's
if
nothing,
you've got a copy of it at home, then it doesn't matter
what
if
are you
they
gonna
take
do?
that.
I don't even need a copy of this. It's all useless data. It's everything that this connects to is in the cloud. So,
I thought you said you had persistent data and
it's
file
persistent
storage on there.
It's persistent file storage, but it's persistent file storage in the way of holding my browser sessions.
I see.
Holding the fact that
nothing
I'm logging,
important there.
that I have some plugins to a browser installed and that I can access a password manager through it. Things that I wouldn't want to leave open on a computer, or things that I wouldn't want, if this wasn't encrypted, I wouldn't want to lose this flash drive if it wasn't encrypted, because then somebody could plug it in, boot, and
they're
then
you.
They're me. They have access to password managers or browser sessions or any of that stuff.
Now, you said
don't
it was
want that.
KDE Neon?
Well, it can be any version.
I was going to say
Linux.
Linux is pretty
It's
common.
just any
as far
version. Yeah, pretty much any version. I like Neon. I've tried a bunch of different distributions of Linux. A lot of people like Mint or Ubuntu. I've settled on KDE Neon.
I'll have to try that one because I kind of, Ubuntu's not that great. I've been using it most recently, and
I mean,
it's kind of buggy.
It just
honestly.
depends. It depends on what you're looking to do. But for traveling around, this makes it really nice. Or if you're like on a college or a library computer or something like that, why do you want to use their computer?
No, God, no. Yeah.
Use your computer and just unplug the thing and restart the computer when you walk away from it.
Yeah, it's super smart.
You're not leaving any trail behind, and you're using all your own stuff.
If you want to join us here, talk about your privacy, because that's what we're focusing on here tonight, because privacy does matter, even if you think, I don't have anything to hide. Well, you may not know what it is that you need to hide from the federal government. Have you read all the laws?
Right.
I suspect you haven't. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves and bring up what you want. More on what's going on at the border. Looks like it's good news out of the courts coming up. I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet at Edge. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
With Fortune DNA, you can invest in anything you want to, 100% tax-free for you and your heirs, and use your money before you're 59 and a half without ever losing your principal, all with the blessing of the IRS. Avoid the volatility of the market, put certainty back into your investing future, and keep full access to your money with Fortune DNA. Join us now at dna.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at dna.freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Are you making sense to the boomer mindset? I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com. 80 million baby boomers comprise 25% of the population and control most of the USA's wealth. As aging parents pass on, they'll control more. Boomers are 46 to 65 years old and regard themselves as midlife. They identify as neither young nor old. They're post-minivan and pre-retirement, and they don't like being called boomers. They think me. Many of the purchases boomer couples make are individual purposes. They've been experimenters all their lives. If you want their attention, tell stories and keep it simple. If something seems complicated, boomers can dismiss it as, I don't need this. And if you're looking for work, you may be applying to a boomer, so relate accordingly. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Now you're going to have to tell us what you're laughing about, Vincent. It's rude to laugh on the air with it.
Well, you know, what happens during commercial break stays during commercial break.
Is it something you can't talk about on the radio?
Well, it has to do about an octopus.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess, Johnson, you should probably describe what he's talking
so
about.
I recently posted to my personal Facebook page something that I found, I guess, from the Independent Indie 100, I guess. Interesting video, interesting content, and it's an octopus that was filmed while it was sleeping and dreaming. And this octopus, if you don't know, or octopi, I should say, if you don't know, are very adept at camouflage.
Yeah.
They're able to change the texture and pattern of their skin nearly instantly, and they can change from like white to black. They can change from, yellow to camouflage to, all these purples and greens and all these different colors, and match the coral or
whatever
seafloor or whatever they want to match, and hunt crabs and clams and whatever fish, whatever they want to eat. And this one is imagining going on a hunt as it's dreaming and sleeping, and so it's sort of just flashing to these different patterns as it's dreaming, and it's
pretty
I
cool.
think it's pretty trippy, cool video.
Can you put that in our Discord, maybe, on the on-air chat channel?
Sure.
That way people who want to check that out can. You can go to discord.lrn.fm. Johnson's name, by the way, is Tempest Infernus in there, in case you were looking to give him a tip via the tip bot that is in there. Vincent, your name is obvious, Vincent QA. So check them out there on our Discord server. We're still talking about how to stay safe as far as your electronic devices are concerned. There's a good court decision, or mostly good court decision. I'm just kind of trying my best here to parse through the 48-page long decision by the court there in Boston that ruled in favor mostly of the people who filed the EFF, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, and the ACLU, with 11 different plaintiffs in this particular case. So it's kind of like a class, almost a class action suit. The court did deny the request for expungement of information taken from the victims' digital devices, and there's a 3-page long explanation of why they denied that based on XYZ, previous cases. So the victims, the people who were searched, were asking the court to, after the fact, get the government goons to delete their info, and the court has refused to do that. Basically, to sum up 3 pages of legalese, the court argues that there's this certain kind of previous decision that other courts have made that say that, well, as long as the police believed that what they were doing was constitutional, then their illegal search is totally fine. So until a court has essentially rebuked the police and said, what you did was wrong, you were bad boys. But it's okay, you can keep all the data that you took while you were doing those bad things. Because you thought it was okay, and, you're cops. You don't really know anything about the Constitution, so it's all right. So I mean, it's not the best decision in the world. It's not ideal. They are looking for the plaintiffs, according to the ruling, and I'm on page 46 of it here, a declaration that defendants' policies violate the First and Fourth Amendment facially, and have violated plaintiffs' First and Fourth Amendment rights by authorizing and conducting searches of electronic devices absent a warrant supported by probable cause. And then B, declarations that defendants' policies violate, and the defendants are CPB, the Customs and Border Patrol, and ICE, violate the Fourth Amendment facially and have violated plaintiffs' Fourth Amendment rights by authorizing and conducting the confiscation of electronic devices absent probable cause. Because again, if you don't let them search at the border, they'll just take your device and you'll probably never see it again. I mean, how much are you going to spend on an attorney to try to get your laptop back? Unless there's like super critical information in there that is worth tens of thousands of dollars, you're
like
probably
a Bitcoin wallet.
Well, yeah, you're probably just going to let it go. And if you're only keeping a Bitcoin wallet on your laptop without any other backup anywhere else, you're making a huge mistake. The court does grant this relief, but only to the extent consistent with its ruling here. Accordingly, the court allows the request for declaratory relief to the following extent. The court declares that the CBP and ICE policies for, quote, basic and, quote, advanced searches, which I suspect both were done to me because I was searched by two different sets of bureaucrats, as presently defined, violate the Fourth Amendment to the extent the policies do not require reasonable suspicion that the devices contain contraband for both such classes of non-cursory searches and or seizure of electronic devices, and that the non-cursory searches and or seizures of plaintiffs' electronic devices without such reasonable suspicion violated the Fourth Amendment. So again, they're saying that these searches were illegal. They didn't have reasonable suspicion just because they don't like the way someone looks. They don't like the, age of the person or the color of the person or whatever it is that, has them feeling like they need to search somebody. They got to have something more specific. Probable cause is likely going to be required in order for them to search your devices at the border. Now, again, it's not clear if this only applies to U.S. citizens or everybody. It should apply to everybody because the Constitution is a set of rules for the government to follow, and the Bill of Rights is supposed to set out the rights that all human beings have, not just U.S. citizens. So hopefully this ruling is going to apply to absolutely anyone coming into the United States, not just U.S. citizens coming back, but I can't say it's clear on that point, and the EFF isn't clear either in their statement. If I had to guess, the EFF sounds like they think it's applying to everybody, but it's not clear. For an injunctive relief, plaintiffs seek an injunction preventing defendants from, quote, searching electronic devices absent a warrant supported by probable cause that the devices contain contraband or evidence of a violation of immigration or customs laws. And B, an injunction preventing defendants from confiscating electronic devices with the intent to search the devices after the travelers leave the border without probable cause and without promptly seeking a warrant for the search. So again, it's not saying only U.S. citizens here, so I'm going to presume they mean everybody. Although there has been extensive briefing by both sides of the case, the bulk of that being focused on plaintiffs standing to bring their claims and the merits of those claims, so on and so forth. Given that plaintiffs reside across the U.S. and Canada, were searched at... Okay, so that's good. So one of the plaintiffs, or at least one of the plaintiffs, is from Canada. So therefore, this does include people coming across internationally who are probably not U.S. citizens, were searched at different border entries, and the plaintiffs sought a facial challenge to the constitutionality of such searches. It may be that plaintiffs seek conjunctive relief on a nationwide basis. Even if the court had applied the warrant supported by probable cause standard reflected in plaintiff's request, the court would not have imposed nationwide or universal injunction without further briefing. So what did they do? They then cite multiple court cases. Let's see, going on here. Conclusion: for the foregoing reasons, the court allows in part and denies in part plaintiff's motion for summary judgment. So the court has denied the request for injunctive relief without prejudice. Okay, what does that mean? Legalese, without prejudice means that they can't bring it back again it's not clear to me just on my I'm not an attorney, so I'm not always good with legalese here. Yeah, it's not clear if this applies nationwide. If you want to join us here, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. I'm going to try to take a closer look at this here as our breaks come up and see if I can get some better idea.
I thought with prejudice means that it's just barred from being brought back into a court and like appealed. It's barred from
it can be appealed. It can be appealed
because it's without prejudice. With prejudice means that you can't appeal it, I believe.
And extreme prejudice means you kill the person.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. So, mostly good news, I would say, out of this case. We'll continue. We got some crazy news coming up with this transabled? Purposefully disabled people, kinda? More coming up.
Complement your health with hemp-derived cannabinoid oil. We've always believed that the closer to Earth, the better it is for our bodies. Our hemp-derived cannabinoid oil is phytocannabinoid-rich, full-spectrum, and organically grown. Finally, hemp made easy, clean, and effective. GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203. That's right, we cut through the red tape. It's now available at GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203.
We can all agree these are troubled times, right? So do you know who's on your wireless network? Whether it's a big company selling your data or a foreign hacker, if you're not protected, everybody sees your information. That's why you need Flash Routers, a custom Wi-Fi router created for privacy. Flash Routers uses a virtual private network, or VPN, to protect your online activity from hackers, trackers, and large corporations. And not just one, but all your devices with one out-of-the-box setup. Plus, Flash Routers also enhances your wireless network performance and unlocks powerful router management tools to let you take total control of your network. Call or click Flash Routers today at 1-866-509-5817 or FLASHROUTERS.com. That's 1-866-509-5817 or FlashRouters.com. Protect your wireless home network today with Flash Routers.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Free Talk Live.
If I were a parent, and I am not, Mark, you are, I am not, but if I were a parent, then I would be teaching my kids the difference between right and wrong based on whether or not people get hurt, not whether or not some elected official has written some words down on a piece of paper and deemed something to be illegal. There have been so many things over the history of time that have been labeled as illegal.
It's legal. It was legal to shoot engines in this country. Did that make it right? Legal and illegal, right and wrong, these things do not correspond here in America.
They rarely correspond as a matter of fact.
Anywhere.
Yeah. Now, there are some things that are illegal that are absolutely wrong, like murder or arson or destruction of property or stealing.
It's also illegal to not pay taxes to the federal government. Is that wrong? Absolutely not. It is
heroic.
Right to keep the money that you earn.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. And with you in the studio here tonight, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Vincent.
Plus Free Talk Live brought to you by Liberty.menu. You can go over to Liberty.menu and get your business listed there if you are an individual who rejects the initiation of force and you agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. At Liberty.menu, it allows you to list your business or an event that you're working on. There's perhaps digital content listings. If you are a creator of digital content, you can get that listed there too. Get over to Liberty.menu and you can use that site. It's free to do that, so unless you don't want free publicity or you don't want people to know that you care about freedom, then get on over to Liberty.menu. You can use code FTL, get a special Free Talk Live listener badge. That's Liberty.menu. Yeah, so just, having looked further at this decision by the court, I understand EFF is hailing this as a victory, and technically it is, but I don't know. I mean, these guys are attorneys, so obviously they know more than I do about this, but I mean, it sounds like this judge denied their request for an injunction. So I don't know if that means that these goons can continue to search devices, but EFF is certainly acting as though that they no longer can do that without a warrant or without probable cause at the very least. So if you want to comment on that, you're certainly welcome to do that. 855-450-FREE. And right now there's not much analysis. This is like essentially breaking news. So I just went to look and see if, are there some attorneys who've had a chance to really kind of pour this over who aren't the EFF and, get a third-party opinion. There's really not even any news stories about this. I think the Atlanta Journal-Constitution has a brief story, and that's it. So this is breaking as we speak, and time is going to tell here over the next few months whether the Border Patrol continues its behavior, because if they keep doing that, then we'll know, and if they've stopped, then hopefully we won't hear any more reports.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's important to give major props to the EFF for.
Yeah.
You said you said they filed this years ago, and
I think it's been a couple, 2-3 years.
And the reason why a lot of it's clearly illegal things that are going on, that clearly illegal and unjust, is because not too many people take the time or have the money to see these suits to the end.
That's right.
I think it's important that people, more people following the EFF's example, no matter how difficult it is.
Some of the stories of these 11 people have been pretty interesting too, because they've been releasing those over time too.
That's true.
Been various articles about some of them. I don't think all of them, but a lot of them have had their individual stories covered for when they were searched.
Yeah, and that's a good idea too, especially if you're trying to get publicity for a case. It's good to talk about the victims and exactly how their rights were violated and how it could be you. Even if you say to yourself, well, I haven't done anything wrong, they're not going to target me. Well, they might anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye on this as it develops. If you want to join us, of course, your comments are welcome. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Johnson, what is going on? We've heard a lot about trans people over time. We have a trans person as a co-host here on Free Talk Live. Yeah, transgendered.
Don't assume they're
Actually, I think she uses the term transsexual.
Oh, well.
And that's her choice to use that term. But, we're not unfamiliar with the idea of being trans in a sexual way.
Is that like when you use transsexual, the first thing that comes to mind is, of course, a transsexual transvestite from Transylvania?
Yeah.
So,
But trans is now being used as a prefix to a different word. What's going on?
Transabled. So, apparently there are people now who are becoming disabled by choice and labeling themselves as transabled.
Disabled by choice.
And
disabled by choice.
What? So they're breaking their limbs or something on purpose, or what?
Or getting help in some cases. So the story goes on here to say...
Wait, I'm sorry. Getting help for themselves or getting help breaking their limbs and disabling
getting help
themselves?
disabling themselves.
So you can hire somebody to beat you up or break your arms or something like that.
So it says here, similar to transgender people, the transabled feel one or more limbs or functions of
Hold on,
one's
where
body.
was this from?
This is from McGill. Go McGill.
Okay.
So
is that a blog or like a news site?
I think it's
could it be the university? No, then it'd be .edu.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is a .com. It could be some sort of blog, but I mean, it does quote some stories. It's McGill Media.
Okay.
So,
just curious.
Yeah, it's probably some kind of news blog. So it says here, similar to transgender people, the transabled feel one or more limbs or functions of one's body does not belong to oneself. This story by Shilpa Dasgupta. Transabled people are ones who choose to be disabled. Similar to transgendered people, the transabled feel one or more limbs or functions of one's body does not belong to oneself, and some even go to such lengths that involved illegal surgeries to remove the undesired body part. Professor Alexandra Baril, a feminist, gender and sexuality study professor, and fellow, defines transability as the desire or the need for a person identified as able-bodied by other people to transform his or her body to obtain a physical impairment.
Because they weren't getting enough attention, so now they want more attention because
I mean, you're
they're
laughing,
crippled.
but this is very ableist and intolerant of you. You're clearly very bigoted against these transabled people.
I think this is absolutely, I mean, just on the face, obviously I don't know much more than what you've just said.
Don't you know that reality doesn't matter? It's feelings that matter. And these people feel this way. So you have to honor their feelings. Don't invalidate them as people. You're attacking their personhood.
Yeah, I'm going to say that what they're doing is absolutely, totally attention-seeking. I mean, I can understand if somebody feels like they weren't born the right gender. I can get that.
I mean, if it's attention-seeking, I mean, clearly you're just you have privilege for being born into a family where you didn't need to have attention-seeking, mentally handicapped behavior because you're crazy. You just have sane privilege.
Okay.
I'm curious, does it get into whether or not some of these are like this will be covered by Medicare or Medicaid?
I don't know. I'm sure it will be. So Jewel Shupping, a 30-year-old resident of North Carolina, has BIID, Body Integrity Identity Disorder, and identifies herself as a transabled person. Otherwise healthy, Shupping decided to get rid of her eyesight as her wish to become a blind person took over her mind. In 2006, to fulfill this wish, a sympathetic psychologist poured drain cleaner into her eyes. Reported the Daily Mail.
Hold on. Don't psychologists, I mean, they're not like doctors where they have to like swear to not hurt people?
Oath? Yeah. I would think so. Yeah.
Wow.
Recalling how this idea of becoming blind infested her mind as a child, she said, "My mother would find me walking in the halls at night when I was 3 or 4 years old. By the time I was 6, I remember that thinking about being blind made me feel comfortable."
Okay.
She also tried to blind herself as a child by staring at sunspots and solars.
Wow.
For hours because her mother had warned her about its damaging effects. By the age of 20, she attained fluency in Braille and pretended to be blind. I was blind simming, which is...
Simming? S-I-M-M-I-N-G?
Yeah, I think she had like one of those green like jewels above her head floating around as she was pretending to be one of the characters.
Oh, blind simming.
Simming, yes.
Like The Sims?
Like she's a sim. She was, saying, "I can't see." So anyway, which is pretending to be blind. But the idea kept coming up in my head, and by the time I was 21, it was a nonstop alarm that was going off. She said, after learning about her decision to go blind, her family decided to disown her. But she was constantly supported by her former fiancé, Mike. When there's nobody around you
Wow.
who feels the same way, you start to think that you're crazy. But I don't think I'm crazy. I just have a disorder, she said. This kind of self-inflicted impairment is also known as amputee identity disorder, and it could occur after a person has undergone amputation or has been paralyzed in this specific region. According to some reports, transability falls under the body integrity identity disorder fragment. During this, the patient shows signs of a psychological condition in which they try
this
to
is definitely a psychological
basically harm
condition.
their healthy bodies in order to be deemed disabled.
I gotta wonder. I mean, we actually have a blind listener to Free Talk Live, Riley Blake. He does our daily digest. So he boils the show down to our 2-hour plus podcast. He boils it down to a 20, 30-minute kind of highlight reel.
I'm going to guess he didn't blind himself
No,
with bleach.
he was born that way.
Or hire a psychologist.
But I
to do
wonder
it for
what
him.
somebody who is naturally blind thinks about this. If I were
disgusted,
Very
if I were
angry.
blind, I'd want to slap this woman. There's more coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale. Totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,453, silver at $16.74, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,735. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a bombshell new report from the Wall Street Journal describes a secret project from Google and healthcare giant Ascension to store data on millions of Americans, a move that critics of the tech conglomerate decried as another example of overreach. The Mind Unleashed reports that Google and Ascension made the decision last year to collect the data across 21 states in an initiative named Project Nightingale. The project is legal under the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996, though some staffers at Ascension are reportedly concerned about the ethics of the collection. Neither patients nor doctors have been notified. At least 150 Google employees already have access to much of the data on tens of millions of patients, according to a person familiar with the matter and documents. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security expects to have face, fingerprint, and iris scans of at least 250 million people in its biometrics database by 2022. According to a recent presentation from the Office of Procurement Operations of the DHS, which was reviewed by courts, the 259 million in the database is about 40 million more than the agency's 2017 projections. In those estimates, the agency expected to have the data of 220 million unique identities by 2022, according to previous figures cited by the Electronic Frontier Foundation, a San Francisco-based privacy rights nonprofit. Your data hasn't been private for a long time, and it won't be again, as long as governments believe they are allowed to hoard it, all in the name of keeping you safe. The first two stages of the HEART system are being developed by United States defense contractor Northrop Grumman, which won the $95 million contract in February 2018. DHS did not immediately comment on its plans for the database. Police in New York City have gone to great lengths to prevent people from hopping turnstiles to avoid paying subway fares. But they have likely spent much more on the increased enforcement as they would gain by collecting all of the fees. According to the Mind Unleashed, the MTA has deployed 500 new subway cops to prevent people from skipping fares on the subway, which has led to numerous confrontations. In one case last week, footage taken at the scene showed police pointing their guns at a crowded train car before tackling a 19-year-old fare skipper, who they claimed had a weapon, but officers found nothing on him after a thorough search. The next day, there was another altercation in which an NYPD officer was seen on video punching two teenagers in the face. Residents of New York gathered in downtown Brooklyn last week to protest against police brutality and the increased police presence on the subway. Protesters gathered in the streets near the Barclays Center late in the afternoon on Friday before making their way into the subways. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The Relationship Pro talks to your girlfriend so you don't have to.
We're joined today in our demo center by Eric and Pam, a couple that's been teetering on the edge of divorce for years.
So, Pam, you guys have been using the controller all morning. I understand it's a very good listener.
It's like talking to a fully developed person. It's got to be a major relief not needing your husband to be your partner or a friend.
So, Eric, it must be a tremendous relief to know that there's someone else on the other end of Pam's eye rolls.
Oh, now I can focus on my game instead of worrying about all that stuff she said there.
Will the Relationship Pro keep you two together?
I think it'll drag this thing out for another couple months.
Amazing. Now, to thank you two for coming on the show, we bought you two the new Deluxe Relationship Pro Extreme.
This expanded model has two new modes. Fantasy mode, which allows you to select the age and nationality of the controller's voice. Oh, I choose a voice like my dad's. Okay. And a hyper-realistic mode that starts fights and then grovels pathetically when it's afraid you might get rid of it.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can join us on the radio. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. Whether you want to talk about the border searches, the now possibly illegal border searches that certainly unconstitutional searches that have been going on at various different border checkpoints in the United States, airports and such. The EFF has a positive ruling from a federal court. We discussed that in the first hour. You're certainly still welcome to join us on that topic. And also now discussing trans-abled, or I will say so-called trans-abled people who have decided that, and this is my understanding from what you told us from this article, Johnson, that you've got, that they feel more comfortable by being crippled. So they purposefully blind themselves in one case, maybe cut off an arm or a hand or a finger or whatever.
Give himself poison ivy.
Is that another one?
Well, I mean, I'm sure someone out there is crazy enough to try it.
So I don't know if that would be disabling oneself, but...
well, they feel more comfortable with something that makes most people uncomfortable.
Some kind of an infection.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, it's the same thing with like bug chasers.
So, these people are crazy. One girl saying she's not crazy.
Well, she just has a disorder.
She's not crazy. She just wants to blind herself. So she hires a psychologist
who's apparently sympathetic to this cause.
Who apparently has no scruples whatsoever. And this guy allegedly put bleach?
Yeah, drain cleaner.
Drano?
Drain cleaner, yeah.
In this woman's eyes after she had tried to blind herself as a child, looking at the sun, for instance, for some extended period of time. I guess she didn't have, the courage to claw her own eyes, straight out. But go ahead and bleach them to I presume it worked? Did that?
Yeah.
So we'll get into more of this here. If you want to comment on trans-abled people, the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. We go first, though, to Lumpy. He is on our Discord server, calling from Massachusetts. Lumpy, you're on Free Talk Live.
Oh, boy, it's horrible to hear that I'm calling from Massachusetts. It just breaks my heart to hear that. It's just a reality that's just hard to have. But anyway, drain cleaner, isn't that what they use in that crocodile new drug?
Well, crocodile isn't new. I mean, we talked about...
I'm assuming, though, that you're comfortable with your lumps. You don't want to have a lumpectomy.
Correct. I love my lumps. My lovely, manly lumps.
Crocodile is not a new thing. It's been around for, I think, what's been like a decade since we talked about crocodile
Well,
the first
I've tried
time.
all kinds of stuff, and I haven't tried that stuff, and I'm not about to try it.
Yeah, no, it's
smart.
For those that don't know, it's a home brew kind of replacement.
That's the only thing I did, Johnson, that's smart. But yeah.
It's a crazy sounding home brew where they use like motor oil and some other really dangerous stuff to create some kind of drug concoction.
How bad is your life to be? I mean, life must be really bad to have to do motor oil and whatever else they Drano and whatever else they put in that stuff. Really? Right? I mean,
yeah.
Really? I mean, if that's your only other option.
What was the recipe for crocodile? I remember it was like gasoline.
It was
I'm sure it's
a bunch
online,
of weird,
disgusting,
sick sounding stuff. So, Lumpy, what else? What's going on, man? What you calling about?
Well, I think that the Trans Am, it needs to be a protected class of vehicle. Firstly, it's trans, right? And then mostly it's driven by females when the real alpha men were,
Trans Am was trans before everybody else was trans. Trans Am's been around for a long time.
So what you're suggesting is that also maybe that they give government sponsored tickets for transatlantic airlines.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, come on. That makes perfect sense to me, doesn't? I mean, that's brilliant. Yeah.
The Trans-Pacific Railway.
Exactly. I mean, these need to be protected. Railroads, airlines, I mean, anything. So, that just makes sense. And, I haven't called for a long time because, well, the last time I really had I've called again, I get in the interim, but I kind of chewed out Heather, and I was a little bit rough with her a long time ago, and I chased
former
her off
co-host.
the air. Yeah, well, she's also from not too far away from where I am right now on Cape Cod. So I guess I kind of had a little bit of insight as to what a kind of person she is. Wow, that was hard not to say. Anyway, but it's just a little different version of James from Arizona, and maybe in a different body, But anyway,
I mean, she didn't openly threaten other
Mark's
co-hosts
children.
Oh
on
no,
the
she
show.
just let government do it. That's government can always do it, right?
Well,
government can always do the violence that if I can dream it up in some kind of morality in my I can paint some kind of picture.
You said
in my
if
head.
I can dream it up. Just to be clear, what you said there. Go ahead.
Right,
go
right,
ahead.
yeah, sure. I
Yeah.
can paint this. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what it is. If I can dream it up,
Yeah,
I can have government do it. If I'm, and it is a dream to have the state do anything for us. But
sure,
it always results in
it's a sick dream by a power-seeking individual who wants to, rule over others while at the same time claiming to support freedom. I mean, it's just bizarre viewpoint. And just to be clear for listeners who don't know who we're talking about, Heather was a co-host of ours. She was on Thursday nights for some amount of time, at least a year or whatever. And the co-hosts who were on with her at the time, Daryl and Chris Reitman, became increasingly frustrated with her. She didn't seem to be very libertarian at all. She supposedly was a libertarian. Initially, it kind of sounded that way on some
Probably she
issues.
didn't end up on Cantwell's show.
Well, don't give him any ideas.
She's currently on the. She's supporting Weld 2020 right
That's
now.
not a surprise.
She's
She loves
back
that
in
guy.
Republican.
God.
That's not a surprise. She's in
Well,
love with Bill Weld. She thinks he's just a great guy.
Anybody who thinks that you can centralize a decision or morality and force it upon anyone else, whatever their version of morality is, and usually anytime anybody decides to be, and I use air quotes, of a higher moral position, as soon as they collectivize it and say, I'm going to have this band of thugs enforce this idea for me, well, your idea doesn't seem to be that good, because if it were that good, you wouldn't really need to push on other people the way that government does.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, I may be living in Massachusetts, but that's not forever. God, I hope it's not forever.
Well, hopefully not too many more
too.
decades. You've been gone from New Hampshire for like more than a decade now, right?
Oh my God, it feels like more than a century.
If you have to deal with this New England cold, you might as well get out of Massachusetts. Because
Oh my God, I've got snow out there tonight. I had
Yeah.
no idea what. I took a picture of it and sent it to people. I can't believe it. It's fall.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing
anyway.
you up here when you get back. Thanks.
I
Love
love
you
you
for the
guys.
call
Thank
tonight,
you.
man. I appreciate it.
Since it was asked earlier, I just pulled it up. So in order to make crocodile, some of the things needed are codeine, and it's mixed with ethanol, gasoline, red phosphorus, not white phosphorus that the military uses, red phosphorus, iodine, hydrochloric acid, and paint thinner.
Wow.
it
She should have
eats
put
you
that
from
in
the
her
inside.
eyes.
Oh God.
Well, I probably would have given her a bet. Probably would have snapped her out of it if she had just recreationally taken crocodile, and at least she'd realize, oh my God, what am I doing with my life?
We're talking about a so-called trans-abled woman who is one of the people featured in this story. I think there's more than that, right, Johnson?
Yeah,
So
I
we'll
think
talk
so.
about some of the other ones. But so she had a psychologist put Drano basically in her eyes to cause her to go blind, or maybe partially or fully. Does
I
it
believe
say?
fully blind, yeah.
Fully blind. This is what she's always wanted. And it is your body. So if you want to disable yourself, if you want to cut off a limb, if you want to gouge out your eyes, then I think you should be free to do that. Certainly, I don't think that others should be forced to pay for it. And that's, of course, the concern that you brought up, Vincent, is this going to be something that Medicare ends up paying for? Is she going to be able to get on Social Security disability as a result of her choice to be disabled?
Oh, absolutely. And with some of these Democrats running, they would, if there's support for Medicare for all, that would cover transition surgeries, just like the military does. And it's it'll be very hard to argue. Why is this group of trans people allowed to have a government
But
cover,
not the
but
other
not the
one.
other one? And then they're going to have everyone do it.
Because if you can give people an incentive to disable themselves, more people will do it. If people know that they can get a check if they cut off their leg or something like that, or go blind, there are going to be more people who all of a sudden come down with the disorder because they want to get a check. The toll-free number tonight is 855-450-FREE. We got more on the way.
What if you just identify as the president of the United States?
Will they
You
let
don't need
you
to go
become
through the
president?
process. Just say, I identify this way.
855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. By the way, the Trans Am started in 1969, according to Wikipedia.
You should listen to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
We got more coming up here. This is Free Talk Live. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com. Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarists, thinkers, and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL. I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge Wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You can jump into one of those and sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us tonight. You've got Ian.
And Johnson.
Epstein didn't kill himself, Vincent.
Johnson, tell me about libertyminded.com. What's going on over there?
Well, and I mentioned those flash drives earlier. I am carrying one of the Think Penguin Super Speed drives as a product.
Really?
So if you wanted to get it, you could get it through libertyminded.com if you wanted to.
It's an unusual product. Normally you sell T-shirts.
Well, what you get if you get it through libertyminded.com is I will load it up with all sorts of Liberty Media.
Oh.
So, we got the first couple seasons of Free Talk Live. We've got some other shows in there. We've got a couple of liberty-oriented movies.
Cool.
There's a big package of stuff that would take you weeks to download all of it, even with high,
Gotta find
high
it,
speeds.
download it.
Find it, download it. So
You have curated a package
yes.
of liberty-oriented stuff.
Yeah, and it's the fastest way to get it is in this case on physical media through the mail.
Is Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree included?
That is correct.
Excellent
yes.
selection,
The
sir.
the high, very high quality version of it. So,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Check
I've
that
got
out.
Guns and Weed on there. I've got
Let's talk about what's on sale. Free Talk Live hoodies.
Hoodies are definitely on sale.
Tis the season.
Tis the season, and I haven't figured out exactly what details yet. I'm going to do for shirts, but
like what, a Christmas holiday sale,
yeah,
Black Friday,
some holiday stuff, some Black Friday action going on. So make sure to check out the site on Black Friday. But I have people that I have on an email list.
There is an email list.
I don't use my email list very often, so it's
But
one of
you're
those
going
things
to
where it's
soon.
like it's safe to sign up for that. If you want, you're not going to get bugged. But
But
you
you're
will
going to
get a
send
deal.
one. You're going to
every
send
so
an
often.
email coming up soon, right?
Yes,
So
that's
get on
correct.
the list
Yeah.
so you know when the deals happen.
Exactly.
Johnson,
You
Turk,
also get a discount.
Turk
too.
Ferguson in the chat wants to know if you're going to have any Cop Block hoodies again.
I never carried Cop Block hoodies because it's not my property.
Yeah.
I do have.
I don't think Cop Block exists anymore. So if you could somehow get the logo, you could probably go ahead and print and sell Cop Block hoodies.
I'm going to have to see how fast I could
I mean,
trademark
I could
it
get
to
the
name Cop
logo
Block.
by just getting the logo. I'm capable of doing that if I wanted to.
I mean, a
I don't
demo
need to
might have
get the logo from anyone. I mean, I would just need to make sure that I have the rights or access to be able to do it. So I just need permission.
I don't even know who would give permission for that because Cop Block, for those who don't know, former, the site still exists, but it barely exists. The organization is dead. Ademo Freeman, who was the founder and former co-host here on
Right.
Free Talk Live, basically walked away from it a couple of years ago now and said he was retiring, which, kudos to him. He's done good work. He's gotten arrested countless times for police accountability work, and I love the guy. I mean, if he wants to retire, that's his choice. It's sad that nobody else was willing to really pick up the ball and run with it in the same way that Ademo was. He couldn't even find any of the other key Cop Blockers to take over the site.
If you like Cop Block merch, I mean, on Cop Block, there was a story posted. I don't know if, how high up it still is on Cop Block about my.
Oh yeah, I posted about your T-shirt.
Yeah,
there.
the Thin Blue Line Gang design. Oh, Cop
Right.
Block's not even. Cop Block's now available. So
wait, what?
Yeah,
I just posted there last week.
Copblock.com?
.org.
.org, okay.
.org.
Well, copblock.com is available.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really cares. I mean, nobody. The dude that when Ademo sold it, he had to just sell it to the highest bidder. He didn't it just expired, right? And then some dude picked it up. Ademo didn't get any,
Right.
significant.
Yeah, it's still on the front page. So there's a link there to the Thin Blue Line Gang shirt, which is that's available.
All I'm saying is, I think whoever owns copblock.org right now, I don't think they own the logo. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think they do.
I mean, do I
He's
know?
paying no attention.
Do I know
whatsoever.
the designer? Is that a Meg creation? I mean, I don't.
Good question. That might be a question to.
It looks a
reach
little
out.
like what's that guy from the church, the Subgenius kind of guy?
Bob Dobbs.
Bob Dobbs. It looks a little like that kind of style.
Yeah,
I don't
see
know
what
if it
you're saying.
actually is.
Hey, let's go to the phones here. We got John in New England. You can always reach out to Ademo. He's on Instagram. He'll probably get back to you. John, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello, you're on the air.
Crocodile is not the motor oil.
No?
No, it's codeine.
You have a lot of personal experience with crocodile?
Oh, no. Codeine is fine by itself.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure there's more than codeine in it. I mean,
Yeah.
Vincent went down the list of ingredients, and it's codeine plus a bunch of other really sick-sounding stuff.
It's actually called desomorphine.
People want to put it in their veins. That's no good.
That's definitely no good. I'm with you there.
You said Heather. She was good. She's not like a James Whitty kind.
You think she was good? What was it that was good about her? Just the fact that she's got breasts, or what?
Ian, that was a sexist comment.
Oh, that was wrong. No, she was good. They're all good. The Heather, the Melissa, TJ, the spy. What did you do with them?
What did you do with them?
Wow, Melissa goes way back. That's like way back to the Florida days of this show. You must be a really long-term listener there.
Where are they? now? What did you do with them, Ian?
That's a good question. I don't know where they are, John. You can find them just as easily as I guess anybody else can. Honestly, I haven't heard from Melissa in years. Although I did hear from her, I think, several years back. She's still around. I think she's still living in Florida.
I would like to hear TJ again.
I loved TJ. I would love to have TJ back. I told TJ he needs to get his butt back up here to New Hampshire, but unfortunately, he left. They're in Colorado. He and his boyfriend, lover, I'm not sure what the right word is. They're still there. His boyfriend, James Cleveland, also former co-host here on Free Talk Live, sadly owes some people some money, and he didn't feel comfortable living around the people who he owed money. And I while we may disagree with that opinion, that was the opinion that he held. So hopefully they'll come back someday.
Oh, and last thing, I saw Chris Cantwell. Oh, he became so angry, didn't he? I saw him on TV marching and screaming.
I don't know who this is, but thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate it, John in New England. Chris Cantwell, yeah, he is an angry man, but he was always angry. I mean, that's one thing that hasn't changed about him. He's now an angry white nationalist, racist, Nazi.
He was a white nationalist, racist Nazi.
What is he
he's
now?
a Republican.
I'm pretty sure he's still a white
A
nationalist.
Republican outlaw conservative.
Yeah, well, that's his
conservative.
that's his other brand. He's created a second brand because remember he has characters.
I wondered if anybody would figure this out. So I was just for some reason Googling something completely unrelated, and it came up that somebody did in fact figure out that Cantwell was once featured. They linked the white nationalist, from the Vice interview to the fact that he was once featured on the
Colbert Report. Okay, good.
And I don't think Colbert's ever done a follow-up. I imagine that would be that would be gold, right? If I was in Colbert's position to do a follow-up, I don't know how many, not 10, but back when I did this comedy thing, and now here I'm doing this late night show that's awful, but still.
Where are they now?
Right. Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. I suspect he's sitting in his house right now as we speak. Chris Cantwell. Sad story about that guy, but he does describe himself as a character, and he describes Chris Cantwell, the Nazi white separatist guy, as a character, and he describes this outlaw conservative as a different character. So it still does lead one to ask, who is the real Chris, and what does he actually believe?
His lawyer was also a character.
Yeah, for sure. More coming up.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And you can join us online over at freetalklive.com. Plus, you can join us coming up in 2020 for ForkFest, the 4th annual decentralized camping festival. Vincent, you went for the first time this year.
Yes.
Did you have a good time?
Well, I mean, I focused a lot on making money and
it's true.
just
You
like
were running
getting
a food booth.
Yeah, or help running a food booth and getting, it was my first time at Rogers, getting myself sort of like acclimated. Part of me wishes that I had just spent the time enjoying myself, but
you had a little time for that.
Oh yeah, and
it was quite enjoyable, right?
Hallucinating in the woods and stuff, meeting meeting a physical manifestation of my inner child and everything. That was pretty neat.
Wow.
I'm gonna try because graduation is coming up and around then, but I'm going to try really hard to be at the 2021.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. The graduation's going to be before.
Yeah, but it depends on what sort of job I land. But I do want to have some sort of a QA listener meetup there at ForkFest.
June 29th through July 5th. The dates are official, as official as anything can be for a decentralized camping festival. Sorry, Johnson. Let's try that again. Go ahead.
How does this work out with the campground has historically had their own 4th of July event.
Yes, and they are going to continue. So you're talking about Rogers Campground that is the host for the Porcupine Freedom Festival. It's the same place where ForkFest happens prior to 2020. So this year and the last 3 ForkFests, ForkFest has happened before the Porcupine Freedom Festival. In 2020, ForkFest is going to move to after the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and it was actually Steven Zeiler was one of the folks who really pushed for this idea. He's one of the original creators. You could argue Steven was the creator of Somalia Fest way back in the day, which kind of became ForkFest. But again, there's no organizer, there's no board of directors, there's no central committee controlling anything. But most people that were talking about it this year seem to like the idea of moving the event to after the Porcupine Freedom Festival, which means that it's going to overlap this year at least. It may not be on every year, but at least this year it's going to overlap with Independence Day. So the dates are June 29th through July 5th, which means that Independence Day is actually going to be the final night.
I think it's very generous to call it that.
What's that?
Independence Day.
Well, it's the name of the holiday.
It's the name of the holiday is the 4th of July.
No, it's not. That's what it's changed into, but it's
Yeah,
still
it sure
technically
has.
Independence Day. Yeah. And so the campground, as you're referencing, has had a fireworks show on Independence Day, or as close to. So, like, if Independence Day isn't on a weekend, if it's on Thursday, they still have the fireworks on the next, that coming Saturday.
Right.
This, in 2020, it just happens to be on Saturday. So the 4th of July is that Saturday, which will be the last night of Fork Fest. So everything's going to culminate. It's going to be perfect, actually. And so one of the concerns that some people had was, well, the park is rumored to have been sold out for this Independence Day thing in years past. But we think that's just what Crosby, the owner, says about it. The reality was very different, apparently. Taryn Lupo and Roger Paxton went this year. So they, after the Porcupine Freedom Festival was done, another week later, they went up for Independence Day just to kind of scope it out and see, how full is the park on this particular weekend, because it's supposed to be next to the Porcupine Freedom Festival, the next most busiest time. And, they said maybe it was like half the way full. So there's definitely some people that show up for this fireworks show. They bring their families up for the weekend, and I think that's going to be great because there's going to be way more people in the park than Fork Fest would otherwise bring. So we're going to mix in with the other folks who are going to be there for Independence Day, and I did talk to Crosby, the owner of the park, and he confirmed that the fireworks will go on. He had two guys that were doing fireworks. One of them has retired, so I guess, he wasn't sure if it was going to keep going in the same form, but I guess the other guy is willing to keep going. So they're going to have a show, and Roger said that it was a pretty good show once it got going. So yet another reason to come up to Fork Fest in 2020 is there's going to be a fireworks show, and that's going to be the weekend. So it's going to be a full week. So Fork Fest extends this next year. It was only like 4 or 5 days previously. It's going to be a full Monday through Sunday event. And it's going to come after the Porcupine Freedom Festival. So instead of what it did this year was Fork Fest tripled in size this year. It was amazingly well attended. But it kind of ramped up and it got really good the second to last day. And there was real high energy. Lots of people were there. And then the last day was sort of like this transition day where it became the Porcupine Freedom Festival, which is this family-friendly event that the Free State Project puts on. It's a good event.
The border police state was initiated.
Yeah, and it killed the that sort of ramping up. So it ended up being that the second to last night of Fork Fest this year was the biggest night, not the last night of Fork Fest. The energy was significantly subdued on the final night. So this next year in 2020, we won't have that happen, because it'll transition from the Porcupine Freedom Festival into Fork Fest. So we'll take whatever energy they've built up, continue that into Fork Fest, and then go ramp up to our own weekend at the very end and culminate in a fireworks show on Saturday night. I mean, it couldn't be much better as far as the plan is concerned. So like I said, it's as official as pretty much anything can get with Fork Fest, because there's no board of directors, there's no tickets. You can't buy a ticket to Fork Fest. If someone tries to sell you a ticket, they're trying to scam you. There's no such thing. You just have to get your campsite. Or RV. If you get an RV, you can get an RV site. There's also motel rooms available as well. But I would recommend doing it sooner rather than later. Go to forkfest.party. You can learn more about the event there. There's a link to Rogers Campground. You can contact them and lock in your campsite sooner, because there are going to be more people there. Just because Fork Fest is likely going to grow in the same way that it grew over the last few years, plus all the people who are coming out for that weekend. So keep that in mind. Forkfest.party. Let's go to Vernon. He's in New Orleans. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Vernon.
Hey, two quick show-related questions.
Yes,
One,
sir.
what happened to the Shrine of Female Listeners? And two, would you ever let someone remotely guest host? Just because y'all were talking about some of these awesome hosts, and they're still alive. So maybe through Discord or something on occasion, invite them to guest host remotely and feature them on the show. And I'll take the answer up there. Thanks.
Okay. Thanks for the call. The Shrine of Female Listeners, that goes way back. Is it not on the site still? I guess it's not. I don't know. It just became, it stopped. I stopped adding people to that years and years ago, just because
There was a thread on the forum that became a lot more popular. The forum's gone too.
Oh, you mean the excellent breast thread? That wasn't quite the same thing. The Shrine of Female Listeners was supposed to be a way to, display the fact that we actually had women listening to the show, considering talk radio is a highly male-dominated listenership kind of contingent. And that was the purpose of it. It was more of a thing that we did back when the show was a local show in Florida. And it lasted for, I think, a few years after that when we were in syndication, and I just got tired of dealing with it.
I just did a search just to see if there would be an archive anywhere somebody could access it. And
the forum, the BBS, it's still up.
Just to access the Shrine of Female Listeners. So I searched for Shrine of Female Listeners in quotes and Free Talk Live, and I got Skip Yokel's 10 Reasons Why You Should Add Free Talk Live
to your
lineup. And number 8 is Women Listen to Free Talk Live, with female callers given preference in our call queue and our Shrine of Female Listeners. Women are welcomed and encouraged to participate.
Wow, that's really out of date. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you
no women anymore. We don't encourage you anymore.
If you really had that big of an audience of women, then you wouldn't need to incentivize them to call in by putting them.
No, we weren't saying they were big.
No. It's because it's because talk radio in general, terrestrial talk radio, is a completely male-dominated format.
Yeah, we weren't saying we had a big audience of women. We were saying here are the women who listen.
Well, yeah, okay, that's what I thought it implied. That's the idea.
No, this is literally the women who listen to the show.
Yeah,
not a very large number, but we have them. It's probably 10% or 20% of our listenership, but anyway.
Sarah is,
As far as remote hosts, his other question, remote hosts, I don't do remote hosts. I don't want to do a remote host. I don't like not being able to look at somebody.
You mean you don't want to host a show from a bowling alley?
This is Free Talk Live.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. Exclusions apply.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can. Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. Just text DO11 to 350350. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK. For a free consultation plus an extra 20% discount, text DO11 to 350350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's DO11 to 350350.
If you owe money to the IRS, you need to hear this. The IRS is cracking down on those who owe back taxes. It starts with a devastating letter, and if you don't act immediately, you could find yourself having your wages garnished or have a lien placed on your property. But there's a solution. Tax 10,000 can help. Avoid enforced compliance, where these holds on your income and seizure of your home could become a nightmare that just won't end. Call 800-239-9957 now and speak to one of our experts. 800-239-9957 is the number to link you directly to a tax resolution specialist who will negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, all the forms will be handled for you. All you have to do is make the toll-free call. 800-239-9957. Find out if you qualify and possibly save yourself thousands of dollars, not to mention a lot of headaches. It could be the best call you've made today. That number again, 800-239-9957. The service does not provide tax settlement or legal services. We will refer you to a company that does provide such services. Often the IRS will not agree to any reduction in the amount owed. Not all taxpayers who owe more than $10,000 will qualify for a tax reduction program.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want here. The number 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. Just head on over to discord.lrn.fm. You can jump into one of those and sound almost like you're sitting here with us. It sounds pretty good, but I wouldn't want to host a show with somebody over Discord for, an entire show.
What if you made the channel of female listeners and you only give voice in that channel to females?
You mean on the Discord server?
On the Discord.
There's never enough of them at one time on the server.
Maybe there would be more if they knew that there was a female-only chat channel for them, where only the females could speak.
But wait, you're saying that others could listen?
They could read it, but only the females could speak.
Oh, you mean a typed chat?
Yeah, typed chat.
Okay, I thought you meant voice as in... There's voice channels, too, on Discord.
Yeah, there's voice channels, too. Maybe you could give them a voice channel, too.
I don't know. I mean, I think we've got like 3 female listeners on the Discord. So if that's what the ladies want, they can tell me, and I'm happy to.
3 ladies, and then it can grow from there.
Yeah, I'm happy. If that's what they want, I'm happy to provide. I mean, we can make as many channels as we need to on the Discord server. So there's certainly no limit to that. If you want to comment here, you can bring up whatever you want. We got to get back into transableism or transableists, transabled people who've purposefully disabled themselves because they want attention from other folks. But they claim that it's because it makes them feel comfortable to be blind in one lady's case. We'll tell you more about it. But I do want to let you know about Edge Wallet. If you are interested in cryptocurrencies, specifically to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold cryptos, Edge is a great wallet for it. It's the one I use more often than any other out there. It's available for iOS and Android devices. It's got support for dozens of cryptos, including Bitcoin, BTC, Ethereum, various Ethereum tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, Ravencoin, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. Get on over to edge.app. You can learn more about the wallet and the technology behind it. The team there has been building since 2014. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet at edge.app, or just go to your Google or Apple app stores and download Edge Wallet. As we continue here, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Shall we continue?
Yeah, sure.
On transabled people. Where was the story from again?
From McGill Media.
McGill Media. Yeah. Reporting on one woman who, and she's not the only one, but who blinded herself several years ago. I think it was 2006 is what I remember you saying in the story. And apparently it worked. She's now blind and feeling better about her life.
So just to recap a little bit, so it says she tried to blind herself as a child by staring at sunspots and it says and solar. Either that's solar flares or
I don't think you can see solar flares.
Yeah, I mean,
isn't it like you're not supposed to look at a solar eclipse? That's the thing.
You're never supposed to look at the sun, period.
Yes,
and
maybe
some
solar
people,
eclipses, I don't know.
Well, some people believe that they can safely look at the sun during an eclipse. It's not true. You will absolutely likely damage your vision if you do that. That's why they give you those special glasses that are like super, super, super dark.
Yeah.
And you can use those, but that's it.
So she says here, by the age of 20, she attained fluency in Braille and pretended to be blind, otherwise known as blind simming, which is pretending to be blind. But the idea kept coming up in her head, and by the time she was 21, it was a nonstop alarm that was going off, she said. After learning about her decision to go blind, her family decided to disown her, but she was constantly supported by her former fiancé, Mike. When there's nobody around who feels the same way, you start to think that you're crazy. But I don't think I'm crazy. I just have a disorder, she said. This kind of self-inflicted impairment is known as amputee identity disorder, as it could occur after a person has undergone amputation or has been paralyzed in the specific region. According to some reports, transability falls under the body integrity identity disorder, BIID fragment. During this, the patient shows signs of a psychological condition in which they try to physically harm their healthy bodies in order to be deemed disabled. While some argue that it's strictly a neurological issue, there are others who believe it's a mental disorder.
Yeah.
Professor...
Well, I agree with half of her statement. Yeah, she does have a disorder. She's crazy.
Well, Professor Clive Baldwin interviewed 37 transabled people as part of a study at St. Thomas University in Fredericton. After the interview, Baldwin deduced that the subjects had such a strong desire to be disabled that they tried to create an accident to fulfill their wishes. Chloe Jennings White, a Cambridge University-educated research scientist, desperately wanted to have nothing to do with her legs and has tried to hurt herself on several occasions, reported Daily Mail. When she learned
Is this the woman in the photograph in the story? There was a photograph of some lady sitting and looking super happy.
I think so, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
She has tried to hurt herself on several occasions. When she learned about the steep price of this operation, which could render her legs useless, she said, I might not be able to afford it, but I know truly and deeply I won't regret it if I ever can.
My God, just hire a thug to beat you with a baseball bat or something.
Just sit on a road and have someone run your legs over. There are train
again
tracks.
and again and again.
Again.
Shouldn't it feel better the more times she gets run over?
Just, tie some tourniquets around your... cut
off your circulation.
Yeah, cut off your tie tourniquets around your thighs, right? And then just drape your legs over a railroad track. Just you think if you're you got to be a problem solver.
Well, if you cut off circulation to a limb, won't it basically essentially?
Yeah, but you might
die?
get sepsis, and if the belt's ever released, then you die instantly. And who knows?
Right. They don't want to die. They just want to cut off their limbs or have them.
They just want to remove the offending part that's not a part of them. It's not a part of their identity.
I'm tired of all this mobility. I don't want to walk around anymore.
Well, she says, okay, so
I'd rather have people try to wait on me hand and foot.
Well, here, I guess this is according to this research scientist believes that both of her legs don't belong to her body and cannot wait for her dream of being wheelchair bound into a reality. Something in my brain tells me that my legs are not supposed to work. Having any sensation in them just feels wrong, she said. The Cambridge graduate shares that she was just 4 when she found out that she was different when she went to visit her aunt Olivia, who had leg braces due to a bike accident. I wanted them too. I wondered, why wasn't I born needing them? And felt something was wrong with me because I didn't have them. So what sort of traumatic event happened there?
That's what I'm thinking is this is sounds like a child who had a traumatic event, kind of if a dog bites you and you're a little kid, or there's a really mean dog and then all of a sudden you hate dogs, or you're afraid of dogs from that point on in your whole life. Even if you meet the nicest dogs, you're still afraid of them. It almost sounds like that, but without the trauma. She just identified with her aunt in that case. Her aunt, by the way, who didn't likely want to be crippled.
Right.
But she thought it looked cool or whatever she thought. I mean, it's hard to even imagine where this comes from.
Absolutely. It's like, they say we live in bizarro or clown world where, people who are born with a disability or people who lose their legs in an accident or combat, their dream, right? Their wish is to get use of their legs again. Now you have these freaks who say their dream is to lose accidents.
That's why I said if I were if I were one of these people, I'd want to slap these folks. Like, what are you talking about, you lunatic?
Yeah.
Look, I mean, it's definitely true that somebody who loses one of their senses, like a blind person, becomes more attuned to the other ones, right? So a blind person is much better at hearing, much better at, smelling things or whatever. In a lot of cases, that's true. But I don't think that most blind people would wish that malady on another human being. There's no doubt that, actually being able to see helps you get around in life. And there's
a reason why they're designing artificial eyes now.
Yeah, because those people don't want to be blind. If they could flip a switch tomorrow and have the wonders of being able to experience, even if it wasn't pure sight, even if it was just, half-sighted, where you could at least sense colors or some level of depth or space or whatever.
Like Geordi from Star Trek in Next Generation. Although maybe we could come up with a compromise, right? This woman, instead of she literally destroyed her eyes, maybe she could have donated her eyes to someone who needed it.
I was thinking of Lion-O, who had sight beyond sight.
Is this the Thundercat?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway, apparently she said since childhood she performed many stunts to get rid of her legs, but they were dangerous enough to kill her. Doing any activity that brings a chance of me becoming paraplegic gives me a sense of relief from the anxiety caused by the body integrity disorder. She said, my friends and family can get a little worried about me skiing, as they know I ski very aggressively, and they know that in the back of my mind I actually want to get paralyzed.
Maybe
the military should
Knievel's
hire her
one of
to
these
take a run through minefield,
Maybe Evil Knievel's one of these people.
All right, toll-free number
Johnny
here.
Knoxville.
855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Well, there's a difference between somebody who's like a masochist or whatever and this. More on the way. Hour 3's next. Free Talk Live. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,453, silver at $16.74, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,735. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a bombshell new report from the Wall Street Journal describes a secret project from Google and healthcare giant Ascension to store data on millions of Americans, a move that critics of the tech conglomerate decried as another example of overreach. The Mind Unleashed reports that Google and Ascension made the decision last year to collect the data across 21 states in an initiative named Project Nightingale. The project is legal under the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996, though some staffers at Ascension are reportedly concerned about the ethics of the collection. Neither patients nor doctors have been notified. At least 150 Google employees already have access to much of the data on tens of millions of patients, according to a person familiar with the matter and documents. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security expects to have face, fingerprint, and iris scans of at least 250 million people in its biometrics database by 2022. According to a recent presentation from the Office of Procurement Operations of the DHS, which was reviewed by courts, the 259 million in the database is about 40 million more than the agency's 2017 projections. In those estimates, the agency expected to have the data of 220 million unique identities by 2022, according to previous figures cited by the Electronic Frontier Foundation, a San Francisco-based privacy rights nonprofit. Your data hasn't been private for a long time, and it won't be again, as long as governments believe they are allowed to hoard it, all in the name of keeping you safe. The first two stages of the HEART system are being developed by United States defense contractor Northrop Grumman, which won the $95 million contract in February 2018. DHS did not immediately comment on its plans for the database. Police in New York City have gone to great lengths to prevent people from hopping turnstiles to avoid paying subway fares. But they have likely spent much more on the increased enforcement as they would gain by collecting all of the fees. According to the Mind Unleashed, the MTA has deployed 500 new subway cops to prevent people from skipping fares on the subway, which has led to numerous confrontations. In one case last week, footage taken at the scene showed police pointing their guns at a crowded train car before tackling a 19-year-old fare skipper, who they claimed had a weapon, but officers found nothing on him after a thorough search. The next day, there was another altercation in which an NYPD officer was seen on video punching two teenagers in the face. Residents of New York gathered in downtown Brooklyn last week to protest against police brutality and the increased police presence on the subway. Protesters gathered in the streets near the Barclays Center late in the afternoon on Friday before making their way into the subways. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The call just came in over the police radio. Yeah, right here. It's just me, my producer, Glenn, and a camera. Buckle up. We don't know where in the mall the shots were fired. We don't know what's going on. It looks like a security guard. I'm going to see what he knows. Turns out he wasn't a security guard. He was just a guy in a blue suit. We still have zero information. Where do we go next? I have no idea. My gut says that way. Come on! I see an ambulance! Confirmed ambulance site! You'll see the space by the curb where an ambulance was parked just moments ago.
You have any idea where the shooter is?
I was being stonewalled by police, but I couldn't let that stop me. I spoke to a woman who said that she saw a man being escorted through the mall by police. Could this be the shooter? According to the description, he was a male, aged somewhere between 20 and 60. He's either Caucasian or part Latino or something like that. He was wearing some kind of a jacket. And I wrote something else here, but he got smudged. However, that information later turned out to be false. The shooter, if there is one, remains at large. Needless to say, our thoughts are with the victims here today, if there are any, which we don't know yet.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. So join us and talk about whatever you want, though right now we're discussing these so-called trans-abled people, and that means somebody who's decided they want to be disabled because they're crazy, or they really want attention, or I don't know. It's pretty nuts, and that's what we've been discussing here. If you want to comment, you're welcome to. There's actually, I'm looking at the story that you're sharing here from McGill Media, Johnson, and they've got some tweets that are kind of interspersed throughout the story. One of them here from Cincy Rock_Princess says, about one of these transabled people, so this is another person's opinion about them. She's an effing oxymoron. I'm disgusted by this. I'm disabled physically from birth. I would sell my soul to the devil himself to not be in pain the way I am every day. And yet these people want to put themselves into that position. They have completely full, able-bodied, lives. They want to destroy themselves, basically, so they can, in this one woman's case, get rid of her anxiety, she says.
This is like late stage Roman, decline, collapse of Roman Empire level degeneracy, and this is bad. This is bad.
I mean, it's a manifestation of some sort of childhood trauma, pretty clearly. If you know anything about psychology whatsoever, it's usually pretty clear that this is where these types of things come from, that it's something weird happened when they were a kid.
And they're not talking about that.
Yeah. Well, this research scientist here that
the one that wants to be have no legs.
Yeah. Says, my friends and family can get a little worried about me skiing as they know I ski very aggressively, and they know that in the back of my mind I actually want to get paralyzed. She added, in 2009, she suffered a 75-mile-per-hour car crash and could not remember anything 15 minutes prior to the impact. Police have ruled out the possibility of deliberate action, but she worries that she might have subconsciously wanted this to happen. Now she spends most of the time on a wheelchair, but gets up whenever she has to perform tasks like getting off the car. Anytime when I'm driving, I sort of conjure up accident scenarios in my mind where I will become a paraplegic, she confessed. Obviously, not everyone can wrap their head around the concept of trans-abled people and feel they are diverting the attention away from disabled folks, particularly disabled trans folks. So that's the end of the story.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think the main difference is, there's always been crazy people. There's always been like self-flagellators and demoniacs and such. But I mean, the difference today
and attention
is that,
seekers.
And especially above all. And the difference is today there's enough quack doctors and people who just, have just no standards that they'll encourage them. They'll enable them to do that. So I feel sorry and I'm disgusted by these, quote, trans ableists. But I think the real villain here is these quacks who are who are encouraging, who, convincing the person to donate their eyes or corneas, to donate it to someone who wants eyesight is one thing, but just like saying, hey, here you go, here's a Drano, go destroy your eyesight.
Can you do that? Can you just donate your eye material to somebody who's blind? Does that even work?
I doubt anyone would. Well, one would think no one would want to actively get rid of her eyesight, but in this case,
that's different now apparently.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it would be even more ridiculous if you're allowed to, have a medical procedure to destroy your eyesight, but you're not allowed to donate your eyes.
Yeah, I can't blame the woman's family for disowning her in this particular case, because it's like, if something happens to a loved one on accident, or they're born disabled, obviously you stick with them and you do what you can to help them out. And, if that means helping take care of them in some way, then that's what a lot of families are willing to do. But if your family member's like, well, I want more attention and I'm going to go ahead and gouge my eyes out or, cut my legs off just so you can take care of me and help me get around. Well, I wouldn't blame somebody for being like, well, screw you then. You can go die as far as I'm concerned because you're useless. What are you going to do? I mean, it's just, man, I feel like I'm really being harsh on this, but
no,
this is like the most one of the most offensive things I think I've heard about.
Yeah. And it's just interesting because we're in a time where, again, it's feelings versus reality, right? And it's you're not allowed supposedly to question
someone's feelings.
Yeah, someone's feelings and someone's, if they say that that's their experience, who are you to question it, But again, to me, I see this as a natural outcropping of the fact that we give a pass to religion. So to me, it's just a natural thing. You give a pass to religion. Of course, you have to give a pass to trans.
What do you mean by pass? Like an infant circumcision?
You can't question the logical beliefs of religious people. You can't say.
You can.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can.
You do it all the time.
You can, but it's not socially acceptable, right?
Oh, it's totally socially acceptable, especially on campus and the internet and TV and the whole what was it via like fedora tipping and such.
I guess I don't know.
Well, and there's a difference between sorry to interrupt. There's a difference between what someone personal beliefs someone has and like physically destroying their body.
Right. You can have whatever feelings you want to. If you feel like you're you were born a woman but you weren't actually, you were instead born a man, fine. That's cool, man. Feel however you want. It's your body. You can feel how you want. If you feel like X, Y, or Z, it's all fine. That doesn't put a burden on anyone else, right?
Right.
But when you've cut your legs off, well, there's probably some people who got to help you do stuff now. If you've blinded yourself, there's definitely going to be people that have to help you do stuff. And so you've now put you've created burdens on somebody else because of your feelings in that case. That's way different than somebody just feeling like they were born the wrong gender or whatever. That doesn't actually affect anyone else in any way except for their opinions. Whereas now, if you're crippling
unless,
yourself,
of course, you're demanding people call you by certain pronouns.
You can demand everything you want to. You can't force them to do that.
In Canada, you certainly can.
Yeah, and what was that? Isn't it like New York City? Somewhere in New York.
In New York
also?
City, you certainly can.
Well, that's a problem with government.
Yeah. But that's the problem.
Yeah, well, that is a problem.
That's the thing is that we live in a society where now government is trying to determine reality, right? It's reality versus feelings. And so we're just getting in it, and it's going in the wrong direction.
No doubt. This is crazy. I mean, it's hard to believe. It's hard to imagine what's going to come after this because I didn't see this one coming. I mean, this is nuts. Where's it going from here? If you want to comment, you can. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. The chat room talking about Lieutenant Dan, the Forrest Gump character who lost his legs, if you recall that film.
They got well, I don't want to spoil it, but got him back again.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that is what happened in that.
What if you're employed but you identify as unemployed? Can you collect employment?
Unemployment, you mean?
Can you collect unemployment? I'm employed, but I identify as unemployed.
Well, I want to identify as a sandworm from the planet Arrakis, so then I could, just like with a Native American church, they could use peyote. I could have access to spice and K2 if I identify as a sandworm.
The spice must flow. Yeah. All right, let's move on. I don't think there's much more to say about these transabled so-called people and the mental illness that they've obviously got. Vincent, you had a story about Sandy Hook, the shooting down in Connecticut, or some would say the alleged shooting, because there are people who actually believe it didn't happen.
Shh, you're going to get us kicked off the air, Ian. Don't say it.
Well, I don't actually believe
We're
that way.
We're going to get the Alex Jones treatment.
I don't believe what, Alex Jones...
You're going to get sued.
Didn't Alex end up claiming that he didn't even believe that?
He said that he was under a form of psychosis because of all the lies of fake news.
Because of all the chemicals he's been putting in his body from his whatever he sells.
No, I mean, I remember he said it was like in the video of I think it was the deposition, the 4-hour deposition. Yeah, I don't have a life that I watched.
You watched all 4 hours of it?
I watched the first 2 hours, and then eventually was just repeating it. It was interesting to see the tactics both the lawyers and Jones used to like get around it. But yeah, he said, I remember exactly what he said on Sandy Hook, because as soon as Sandy Hook happened, the first thing I thought of
wasn't, "You're all evildoers."
No, he was like, I don't recall. No, he said, I don't recall saying that. That clip's out of context.
I don't respect your authority.
More coming up. We'll get into what's going on with Sandy Hook, Remington, the gun manufacturer, coming up.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I've always been high energy, just going, and I turned 40 last November, and I was tired all the time. Now, taking the Balance of Nature, I just feel good. I have energy when I get home to still wrestle with my kids and do the honeydews at home. It's nice. I can tell that it just restored me to feeling normal, which is great.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we'll take off an additional $25 on your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. 751, or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Bring up what you want. Our number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord call-in line rooms. They're open and available to you at discord.lrn.fm. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Vincent.
Coming up, Vincent, you're going to tell us about the latest news about the Sandy Hook / Remington potential lawsuits. Remington, the gun
Not
manufacturer.
potential. It is a lawsuit.
All right, well, we'll get into that coming up here. Plus, want to let you know about LibertyCon coming up April 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. for folks who care about freedom and are interested in networking with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations for the purpose of career advancement or perhaps even business or internship opportunities. There's going to be some great speakers there. John Mackey, the Whole Foods CEO and co-founder, will speak on conscious capitalism. Vernon Smith, who won a Nobel Prize in economics, will speak on alternative markets. Miriam Issa is a pop culture expert and political commentator with over 300 million YouTube views. And Nassim Nicholas Taleb, who spent 21 years as a risk taker before becoming a researcher in philosophical, mathematical, and practical problems with probability. There's more to learn about. Go to libertycon.com. That's libertycon.com. Get more information on other speakers and the events that are happening there. Again, it's April 3rd through the 5th. You can get a $10 discount on your registration. By the way, registration is very affordable for this event to begin with by using code FTL at libertycon.com. Also, student travel scholarships are available. If you need help getting there, they can help you if you're a student. That's libertycon.com, plus discounted rooms for everybody at the Marriott Marquis. I got to say, I'm not looking forward to going to D.C., but this conference sounds like it's pretty good, so I'm looking forward to attending the conference. So we got more on the way. Your calls and thoughts welcome. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. Plus, if we get a chance, we'll talk about the new change to YouTube's terms of service that are a surprise for some folks. We'll explain what that's all about. But, Vincent, what's going on with this Remington lawsuit? These parents of the dead children in Sandy Hook, they want to sue a gun manufacturer over this?
Yes, and it's I just want to preface this by saying, I don't know if you remember so it's technically a Republican Supreme Court, right? And I don't know if you remember the controversy of Kavanaugh and so I just find it funny that all these conservatives and quote liberty conservatives or whatever, libertarians, whatever you want to call them, were fighting tooth and nail for Kavanaugh, defending Kavanaugh, who was famous, or not famous, but he was known for supporting the Patriot Act, and they said, we got to get Kavanaugh.
Didn't he write it or something like that?
I don't know if he wrote it, but I knew that was like a major black stain on him. But, all the usual suspects in the alternative media were saying, well, the Democrats hate him so much, we got to put him through.
Oh, yeah. Even Mark Edge, one of our co-hosts, was all salivating over this guy. He's gonna be a good judge. He's a good judge.
Oh, and that has not been the case. He's just been behaving like Roberts.
Yeah, well, I had to remind him and any listeners that might have agreed with that these judges almost always side with the state. It doesn't matter if they were appointed by a Republican or a Democrat. 9 times out of 10, every now and then you'll get a decent ruling out of the Supreme Court, but 9 times out of 10, they're expanding the state's power, they're expanding the police powers, and they're expanding, all the jurisdiction of the government over your lives.
Oh, absolutely. And and I don't want it to imply that what happened to Kavanaugh and the smear campaign against him was okay, but that just doesn't make him a good Supreme Court justice. No. So we'll see so now I'm seeing all these Republicans chewing eating their words, because the Supreme Court. So this is from CNN, published today. Supreme Court won't stop a lawsuit brought by Sandy Hook victims' families against Remington Arms Co., the manufacturer of the semi-automatic rifle that was used in the 2012 mass shooting in an elementary school, being Sandy Hook. The court decided not to take up an appeal by Remington. That marks a blow to the gun industry. Depending on the outcome of the case, it could open the door to gun violence victims' families suing gun manufacturers for damages. And, I wonder if then, by that logic, people will be able to sue, the pharmaceutical industry and the vaccine industry for the damage that happens from their products.
But car manufacturers for car accidents?
Oh, good point, yes. Sue, oven manufacturers for fires. The Sandy Hook.
Well, that's good because then Taser is going to be would have a lot of suits, right? A lot of suits coming their way from all the times that cops.
Oh
are
no,
responsible
it's
for killing
okay
people.
when the cops use the taser.
Well, it's the taser that's themselves. It's not the person who's using it. It's the weapon that's at fault. It doesn't have to be a conscious mind.
Yeah.
See, so
I don't think
guns people don't kill people. Guns kill people. So it's the gun's fault.
Well, you guys are
They
right that this
manufacture.
would open a huge Pandora's box if the lawsuit succeeds. But remember, what has happened here is the Supreme Court all they've said is the lawsuit can proceed. There's not actually a ruling here on the question on the table. And that's not going to happen for a long while.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people some people are like the gun rights people are viewing this as being a major loss. The fact that they even let it go through.
It's not even I wouldn't say it's a major loss. It's like and I would have to hear Remington's argument as to why they even took this up there. I mean, it almost seems like an unnecessary appeal. Just go ahead and let the suit go. It might even get tossed out right out the gate. A lot of times lawsuits that are filed don't even make it to an initial hearing because the judge's motions somebody motions to dismiss the case and the judge is like, yeah, this is crap.
Well, that's
Tosses
implying they don't get an activist judge. I mean, this case
Sure.
is so
It is
just so
Connecticut.
heated. Yeah, and anytime you have dead kids, that that immediately you throw out all freedom out the window.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm certain that the judges will make the right choice in this case.
No, I get what you're saying. It's not the end of the world for Remington.
But this is a large potential Pandora's box that could be opened, and I don't think judges are going to be willing to open that Pandora's box.
So the Sandy Hook's victims' families are, quote, grateful for the Supreme Court's decision. Attorneys for the family said in a statement, they call Remington's appeal the company's, quote, latest attempt to avoid accountability. A spokesman from Remington could not immediately be reached for comment. A 2005 federal law protects many gun manufacturers from wrongful death lawsuits brought by family members. But families of victims of the elementary school shooting in Newtown, Connecticut are pushing for a different approach. A survivor and families of 9 other victims of the Sandy Hook Elementary School mass shooting are attempting to hold Remington Arms Company, the manufacturer of semi-automatic rifle that was used in the crime, partly responsible by targeting the company's marketing strategy. Lawyers for the victims sued Remington, contending that the company marketed rifles by extolling the militaristic qualities of a rifle and reinforcing the image of a combat weapon, in violation of a Connecticut law that prevents deceptive marketing practices.
It's ridiculous.
The rifle was, quote, designed as a military weapon and, quote, engineered to deliver maximum carnage with extreme efficiency, they argue in legal briefs. Sounds like, you ever read the Doom comic Rip and Tear?
No.
Oh, no? All right.
Is it about the video game Doom?
Yeah, where it's like it's like a parody of how violent it is, and so one of the lines that became a meme was "rip and tear." So we're using all these buzzwords: military weapon, engineered to deliver maximum carnage.
Well, I doubt that the Remington advertisement uses the term maximum carnage, but I don't disbelieve the claim that they are using military-ish kind of iconography, graphics, to try to encourage people to buy their product.
And if they have a problem with just the way they market it, I don't know why they don't have a problem with the DHS using targets of women and children for when they shoot when they have a range time.
More coming up here in moments. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. It would be interesting to actually see the Remington ads in question, just so we have some idea of context here. You can join us. Your thoughts on this Supreme Court decision allowing the case against Remington to move forward. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
NOVITE.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgoristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agorist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgoristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agorist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgoristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgoristHosting.com.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to MyMagicMud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. MyMagicMud.com, FTL20.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You can jump into any one of those, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting here with us. Plus, I want to let you know about Balance of Nature, because good nutrition is key to looking and feeling great, but eating right all the time can be a challenge, especially with travel and work schedules getting in the way, or maybe you just don't have the desire or the time to shop and cook the right foods. Balance of Nature can help you with just 3 of Balance of Nature's fruit capsules and 3 of their veggie capsules. You get 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, and that's a lot of nutrition. You can go online to become a preferred customer, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping. Plus, after your 3rd month, Balance of Nature will ship to you at no charge an additional set of fruits and veggies. So to take advantage of that offer, go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL like Free Talk Live. That's balanceofnature.com, code FTL. As we continue here, we're going to go right back to your phone calls and thoughts. We're talking about the Remington, or the suit against Remington, the gun manufacturer, brought by some of the families of the victims at Sandy Hook. That's the news that you're sharing with us, Vincent, is apparently the Supreme Court has ruled that the lawsuit can move forward. So that's not a tremendous, earth-shattering ruling or anything like that. Nothing significant has really transpired here besides some court people saying, yep, you can sue him.
That doesn't mean that they actually. That doesn't mean the court agrees that there's a standing to sue necessarily, or that the court agrees that the suit will be successful. They're just saying you can file this suit. I mean, really, it sounds almost like a non-event, and it makes me wonder why Remington spent so much time doing this. What do they call it? Interlocutory appeal? I think that's what. This is, again, not an attorney, but I believe that an interlocutory appeal is where if you're in a legal process and a judge makes a decision, you can then appeal that decision. You freeze the case, and then you appeal that decision.
The entire time, the court is making a whole bunch of money, and so are the lawyers.
Oh, absolutely.
As
Correct.
you get bled dry because you have to deal with this nonsense.
And maybe that's what they had in mind. Maybe Remington was like, okay, let's see if we can bleed these people dry on attorneys' fees. Maybe they're not paying for the attorneys, but if they are paying for the attorneys, then okay, now going all the way to the Supreme Court, they've paid a bunch of money for these attorneys. Now they get to file their lawsuit. So like they haven't even gotten their feet wet on the actual suit that they're trying to file because of this appeal up to the Supreme Court. And it's delayed the process as well. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to hear somebody who's paid close attention to the case. Let's talk to Chris. He's in Alabama, listening to WBHP there in Huntsville. Hey, Chris.
Hey, very good forum tonight, as usual, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm not going to bore you with the details of the suit. What I think of it this way or that way. I'm in the firearms industry as far as building accessories for firearms, so you could pretty much fathom where I'm coming from on it. The one thing, it really disturbs me, not just for the firearms thing, but think of, watch a football game this weekend. You're going to see 8 million car commercials, which you get to hate after a while.
Yep.
And none of them are driving their kids to school and slowly letting them out or letting grandma out. They've got the gas pedal crammed straight to the fuel injector, going sideways around corners on surface streets. So it's a marketing thing. So
I see what you're saying. You're talking about how in car commercials they always have that, the disclaimer at the bottom, professional driver on a closed course, do not try this at home. But they're like doing all this fancy stuff that you're talking about that you're not actually supposed to do.
Right, but the plaintiffs in the suit are basically saying, well, Remington marketed these AR-15s as slaughter machines, in which they didn't. And so it opens up, like y'all had said earlier, it opens up a real, kind of a Pandora's box on a lot of stuff. So how people advertise and market is now going to be precedent in suits being filed. And that's all we need to do is make government lawyers richer. All right.
Yeah.
That's kind of the minor point of what I was calling about. The major point of what I was calling about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was having a conversation with a very foolish friend of mine who has a Class 2 manufacturer's gun license. In other words, he can make silencers, full autos, whatever. And he says, we have the Supreme Court. I'm not worried about any gun legislation. And my response was, we don't have crap.
Yep.
I mean, it's like you vote for Republicans and think you're safe. That's when you really need to get scared. And we do not have nothing. And we're dealing with the criminal organizations. One of them may be soft crime Republicans, the other ones may be hard crime, but they're still criminal organizations. So you don't have nothing. You're not safe.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. And again, this decision is yet another point in your column on that one.
Well, hey, good forum, guys. Keep it up. I'll watch. I'll listen every day, and I'll be listening tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I definitely appreciate hearing from you tonight, and thanks for your industry insight and expertise. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You said where was your story from, Vincent?
CNN.
I've got a Time magazine piece about the same thing, and here's what the attorney representing the families had to say. Quote, The families are grateful that the Supreme Court upheld precedent and denied Remington's latest attempt to avoid accountability. We are ready to resume discovery and proceed towards trial in order to shed light on Remington's profit-driven strategy to expand the AR-15 market and court high-risk users at the expense of American safety. Well, okay. Every company's after profit. That's kind of the whole point.
Well, and I mean, do they really think Remington wants to court high-risk users? I mean, like, it's the same thing. It's like, do you really think that GM or Ford wants to court to people who drag race? Right? Because, I mean, the second someone dies because of a product, we're going to get into this sort of mess. It's going to be all over the news. It's going to be a bunch of bad PR. And, I mean, like, certainly there's a lot of issues with the American gun industry regarding protectionism and such. But, I mean, it's just so easy to paint these gun manufacturers as being evil that I think, if they have a Connecticut jury, they're going to throw a book at them.
855-450-FREE is the toll-free number here. According to this story, the court actually didn't even hear the case, so they essentially upheld the lower court's ruling. So the appeals court's ruling that the case could go forward was simply allowed to stand by the Supreme Court. Just to be technically correct on what exactly transpired here. Vincent, was there more from your story that you wanted to share with us?
Yeah, so all they do is give the consumer market for rifles has fallen precipitously in recent years. Colt, the manufacturer of the AR-15 rifle, has announced it's exiting the consumer rifle market. A similar gun was used in the Sandy Hook shooting. So, I mean, and if people who paid close attention, they repeat themselves in this article many times. I think it's about 3 times they had to go back to Sandy Hook. And I believe that the decline in was the consumer market for rifles is because everyone bought them either when Obama was in office after Sandy Hook or before the 2016 election when everyone thought that Hillary was going to get in. Everyone panicked, or many people panic bought, and then as soon as Trump gets in, then everyone just no one's afraid anymore. And a lot of companies went out of business because they were banking on Hillary Clinton becoming president. So I think that's why the market's going down, because everyone already has a cheap AR.
It says here in this story that so the family members filed a wrongful death suit against Remington over its marketing practices. Remington argued it was protected under the law, this federal law that you mentioned earlier, Vincent, the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act. Remington argued it was protected, but the family suit says the federal law doesn't apply because they were accusing Remington of violating state laws in the marketing of the weapon. In March, the Connecticut Supreme Court agreed. Remington appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, which declined to hear the case without offering any explanation. The case now heads back to the Connecticut Superior Court. So there's a little bit more, I think, to say about this. More coming up. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE like freedom. You can join us here on Free Talk Live.
With more people listening to radio than visit Google, Facebook, or YouTube, from the very young to the very old, everyone listens to radio. Pillow companies, alarm, identity theft, nutrition, insurance, banking, automotive, the list goes on and on. Billion-dollar businesses. Why? The answer is radio, the media everyone tunes into. Find out how effective and affordable radio can be for your business. Contact 877-996-4327 or advertise at gcnlive.com.
Warning, don't let your business get left behind in what is likely to be the biggest economic boom in recent history. If you need to build for your business to grow, call General Steel today for a pre-engineered steel building designed for your needs. No wasted space. Steel prices are expected to rise, but you can still lock in your price on a General Steel building. And you can still save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. As much as half. But you must call now. If you need a church building, office, warehouse, manufacturing space, retail space, or more, call General Steel today. You can still get the General's 50-year structural warranty and General Steel quality, all at a price you can afford. So don't let rising steel prices put your project out of reach and stop you from making your company great.
800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. That's 800-965-1295.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. We're talking about the Remington... or rather the suit against Remington brought in Connecticut in connection with a Connecticut state law that the people suing, who are the families of some of the victims of Sandy Hook, are saying Remington violated this law in their marketing practices. Remington appealed, trying to find protection under a federal law, saying that the federal law protected them, and the Supreme Court has rejected their case, upholding the federal appeals court's ruling that no, the federal law does not protect them, that the case in Connecticut can move forward. So we can continue with more analysis there, but I do want to say thank you to Steve, who is a Free Talk Live Gold amplifier, meaning Steve contributes $10 per month to this program's AMP program. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote, and the idea is you can send $5 a month. Steve's doing twice that amount, but you can do $5 a month to join the AMP program, and it helps us get Free Talk Live on more radio stations around the country, bring new internet listeners on board, and expose new people to the ideas of freedom. You get some cool perks, too, like access to the AMP chat rooms or the supporters chat rooms on our Discord server. There's an AMP-only Facebook group that people still hang out in.
And it prevents Mark from leaving forever.
What? Why?
By donating to the AMP group.
Why would that help Mark not leave?
Well,
he doesn't get a piece of AMP, so it's not like it.
Well, no, didn't I'm sorry to interrupt. Didn't he make some big deal once that if you didn't get to a certain fundraising goal, he would just quit doing the show altogether?
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm referring.
Yeah. Let me see what happened there. He said he was quitting, and that he would only come back if we raised a certain amount of money. We didn't raise that amount, and so he came back anyway.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So anyway, I got good news for you gentlemen during the, I don't know, it was during the break. I guess it was actually this was an hour ago. I just noticed it. Thank you to Baraka
6684 in our Twitch chat room for contributing a tip to the show. Now, we don't mention this during our radio shows very often. In fact, I don't think we almost never mention it, but we do have a website called tip.lrn.fm. You can contribute via PayPal or credit card while we're live on the air. I mean, you can do it anytime, but it's best if you do it when we're live. And if you do it while we're live, I will hand out money in the studio to the co-hosts who are with me here. So, but in this case, you guys opted into accepting the gold backs instead of cash, because I would have given you cash, but you wanted these gold backs here. So I'm giving you gold backs because Baraka contributed $66 tonight. So
is this a sponsor?
Goldback is not a sponsor. I just love these things.
Okay,
and I think they're so cool.
I can talk about the conversation that I had with a coworker.
You can talk about anything you want.
So, well, yeah, I know, but I'm not going to
to purposely badmouth the sponsor.
Yeah,
I would love for them to be a sponsor. I'll tell you that. I think the Goldback is super cool.
It's cool, and it's definitely cool looking, and I love it as an art piece. But I really, and I was having this conversation, like I seriously question the actual value of these because
you mean, do you question whether or not there's gold in it?
Well, no, I don't question whether or not there's gold in it. But
or whether there's the amount of gold they say.
It's laminated, right? So it's going to make it very difficult to test. It's just like the Shire silver, right? In order to test this, you would have to partially destroy it, right?
I don't think it's laminated in the way that you're thinking. I believe that it's somehow, based on what I've seen on there.
It's definitely coated in something.
There may be some sort of a coating there, but from what I read or from what I saw on their website, you can do some sort of an electrical test with this.
Okay, that's interesting. I don't know how many people are going to be able to do it. Typically, when you test gold, it's an acid test.
So there's also a fire assay.
Yeah, they do it. Well, okay, but I think typically it's a scratch. You just scratch a little off and you rub it on. You rub the metal material onto like a type of litmus paper or something like that, and you drop a particular type of acid on it, and it bubbles up. And if it turns a certain color, you say it's gold. So I don't know that test is going to be able to be performed on that. And even if it was, I think that you're generally if you were to try and take this to general dealer, they're going to say, well, I'll give you a melt.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't be taking this to a coin dealer to try to get any value out of it, because you aren't going to get you're going to get likely a fraction of what you paid for.
Right.
And the idea is that it's supposed to move gold around and make it easy to give and to receive gold. I could not.
You'd hope.
Huh?
One would hope.
Look, I've got some gold pieces that I'm looking to get rid of right now. That the small piece is like 1/10 of an ounce. It's it's smaller than your pinky fingernail around, and it's super easy to lose. And it's $160 worth of gold,
right?
Whereas one of these gold backs, it's not easy to lose. They're large, they're shiny, they're easy to see. You can drop a gold piece and it's gone forever. This thing, you drop it and it's easy. Oh, there it is. Let's pick it up. So it makes it easy. You can put gold in your wallet now, which I have gold now in my wallet, which I've never done that before. I've given these out as tips. Now, I don't do it without asking first. I always say to the service provider, hey, do you want cash today for your tip or do you want gold? And I let them choose. And actually, a surprising number of them have chosen gold. I would say the majority of them.
I still need to find out. There was a thrift store in town at one point, and I bought for a very like $2 or something like that. It was a baggie of gold coins that were tiny little gold coins. That
real gold or gold looking
unknown,
coins?
But it very much looks like they could actually be gold coins, and they are tiny. And they look to me, they were tarnishing, and it looked legit. I've never had them tested, but this is just reminding me that I have these things that look like they were legit. And there was something about their provenance, where they came from, that suggested another possibility that they might have been legit. And it was given to me, I was allowed to purchase it at that because, there was some debt and possible things. So they're like, here, okay, you're going to have this at this price. We don't know, but I kind of want to know now, because it's a tiny little coin and it's yay big. There's no, what other coin would be made to
be that small
unless they were specifically trying to make something to be counterfeit. But
could be.
Why? What do you do?
Is there a date on the thing? Is it even? Can you even read?
It's hard.
Printing?
It's tiny. I mean, yes, there is definitely imprinting on it, but I would have to get a magnifying glass.
It reminds me of I used to live in Chandler, Arizona, and there was a tourist trap or something my family went to where they'd let kids pan for gold in exchange for for like some whatever trivial sum of money. And I remember for the longest time I had this little like film canister that had little tiny, I think it was like the size of a like an airsoft BB thing of gold.
Huh. This is really unique. So I accidentally rested the gold back on my mouse's trackpad.
Yep.
And it disables it.
Really?
Just by touching it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. So there is some
it's electrically sensitive in some way.
Yeah, definitely electrically sensitive.
So check it out. Goldbacks are pretty cool. It's a Utah, like Mormons are making these things. So hopefully they're not actually scamming people and this is actually real gold. I think I believe that these are real, but I know somebody's going to be doing, actually here in New Hampshire, one of our friends is planning on doing a fire assay of one of these things. Mm-hmm. So, there are independent folks, I think, who have already looked at this. I don't think UPMA, which is the United Precious Metals Association, or maybe it's Utah Precious Metals Association, upma.org. They're a separate group, and they've sort of taken on the gold back, and they're helping distribute them. So I don't think that they would risk their reputation on something that wasn't, what it was made out to be. Also, the manufacturer of the goldbacks is not the Goldback Company. They've contracted with a company called Aurum, which has this very, 21st century technology to do this gold spraying of polyester, basically.
I wonder how much it would be if you were to get this level of thickness, but this type of print on.
And these are very thin, just so you know.
Yeah, very, very thin, but of like an 18 by 24 poster. Like what value you could get.
You'd have to contact Aurum. They have different size products that they make.
I wonder if there is. I wonder if they have a poster.
I don't know what the widest part. They have a certain machine that's doing this work. You can see it in the videos on their website. So I don't know how wide could be for these things, but it could be much wider.
Being used by a regular digital printer, then it could be, they could probably do like 36 inches.
I don't think there's anything regular about this process. It's pretty fancy. So check that out. And also later tonight, we're not done yet, or at least Vincent, you're not done yet.
Oh no, not by a long shot.
You're going to be doing a show on our video channels at dlive.lrn.fm, at twitch.lrn.fm, coming up in about a half an hour, 10:30 Eastern Time is when you'll be kicking off a special after-show edition of Questioning Authority.
Yes.
Which is your show. What do you have planned for tonight? What do you got? Tease the product.
Oh, certainly, yes. I have my show prep folder up here. We're going to be talking about Groypers are the real racists. We're going to continue the conservative civil war. Going to be talking about the, let's see here. Roger Stone tried to get Kushner involved in some of the DNC leaks, so that might explain why Jones is pushing. Yeah, obviously I'm talking about Jones. I'm going to talk about a U.S. Louis Gohmert warning of a communist coup revolution in America.
That's coming up on dlive.lrn.fm, twitch.lrn.fm. Check that out at 10:30 Eastern tonight. Also check out Johnson over on his website, libertyminded.com. Time's ticking away to buy holiday gifts, including Free Talk Live gear, which is where you can do that. We'll see you tomorrow.
Are you sick of hearing the same crap on libertarian podcasts? Inside jokes, interviews of the same person you've heard 50 times? Then you need to listen to the Lava Flow podcast. No nonsense and to the point. Get the information you need and get out. You won't hear the latest libertarian circle jerk news here, but instead hard-hitting anti-statist news with me, Roger Paxton, shooting from the lip. LAVA stands for Libertarian, Anarcho-Capitalist, Voluntarist, and Agrist. And if you think you fit any of these categories, then this is the podcast for you. Listen now at thelavaflow.com to find out what's rustling my jimmies, what's in the news, the latest bad cop, stupid stuff statists are saying, and so much more. You can find out more and subscribe on any podcatcher at thelavaflow.com. That's thelavaflow.com, part of the Pax Libertas Productions podcast network.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,453, silver at $16.74, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,735. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a bombshell new report from the Wall Street Journal describes a secret project from Google and healthcare giant Ascension to store data on millions of Americans, a move that critics of the tech conglomerate decried as another example of overreach. The Mind Unleashed reports that Google and Ascension made the decision last year to collect the data across 21 states in an initiative named Project Nightingale. The project is legal under the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996, though some staffers at Ascension are reportedly concerned about the ethics of the collection. Neither patients nor doctors have been notified. At least 150 Google employees already have access to much of the data on tens of millions of patients, according to a person